Correct, Your Honor.
Then a breakdown showdown.
As soon as we got on the freeway, the check engine light turned on.
You sold this car within a couple of months. Something doesn't smell right to me.
This is Judge Judy. Zachary and Alexa Perry are suing Diane Donges for the refund on the sale of a car, repair costs, and registration fees.
Your Honor, this is case number 22 on the calendar in the matter of Perry versus Donges. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated.
Thanks, Bird. Mr. and Mrs. Perry, you purchased a used car from the defendant that you found on Craigslist, and that was in July of this year. Is that right?
Yes.
And now we're about 6 weeks later, and you're dissatisfied with the car. You want your money back.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's where we're at. And Ms. Donges says that you bought a used car. You bought it as is. There was no warranty on the car. Do you have a bill of sale?
I do, Your Honor. I brought it with us today.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Awesome.
Could you put it up there for me? Thank you. Make, license, model, VIN, undersigns, affirms that the above information is accurate to the best of her knowledge. Refund if does not pass smog $1,000 or more. Sell is nullified. And then the seller's name, July 17th, and the buyer's name. Okay. So that's a very interesting. Who wrote up this bill of sale?
I did, Your Honor.
Ms. Donges, you read the bill of sale before you signed it?
Yes.
And you understood that by signing this bill of sale, what you were saying is that you were only warranting two things. That the sale was nullified if the car didn't pass smog. Did the car pass smog?
It did, Your Honor.
And the only other thing that you were warranting was that if repairs on the car exceeded $1,000, you would take the car back.
Correct, Your Honor.
And I would assume Mr. and Mrs. Perry are going to tell me that the transmission went on the car and the repairs are in excess of $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you bought the car on, did I see July 17th?
Yes.
And I understand, and I read in the papers, that when you bought the car, you knew that the air conditioning wasn't working.
Yes, so the defendant had told us that it should just need an AC service.
Well, what she told you is not an issue. You knew that when you bought it, the air conditioning wasn't working.
Yes.
Did you have the air conditioning fixed?
Oh, it was only supposed to be an AC flush, costing about $125.
That's not what I asked you. Listen to me. It's not what I asked you. I asked you how much it cost you to fix the air conditioning.
It cost us $618.
Okay, so that's less than $1,000.
Correct.
So far, the defendant is in the clear.
Correct.
In what month did you have the air conditioning fixed?
On the 7/21, so within 3 days.
Good. A couple of days.
Yes.
And the car was running okay until that time?
We actually didn't drive it except
to
to the air conditioning shop, which is less than a mile from our apartment.
Okay. And you picked it up on the 21st?
We picked it up on the 22nd.
When did you, again, have trouble with the car?
So the following day, the 23rd, we got in the car to take it to our mechanic, and as soon as we got on the freeway, the check engine light turned on. We felt unsafe continuing. Our mechanic is about 40 minutes away, so we turned back and went to our house. That was the first time we had driven it, even on the freeway. And so the following morning, we took it back to the same mechanic that had done the air conditioning repairs. And that's when we found, we got two estimates for the transmission ranging from $4,200 to $6,200 for a rebuilt versus a brand new with an estimate of $4,800.
Okay, do you have those estimates?
I do.
I'd like to see them, please.
So this one is for the brand new transmission.
Okay.
This one is for the rebuilt transmission at the same shop.
Okay.
And this one is
now
from the second place we got additional opinion from.
Okay, all more than $1,000.
Yes.
On what date did you call the defendant?
I shot her a text message that afternoon asking for her email.
On the 23rd?
On the 24th.
On the 20th?
Yes. She did not respond, so on the 25th, we sent her a piece of registered mail and a text message with all of the estimates, as well as a demand letter asking for our money back in return for the car. And we never heard from her.
Where is the car now?
It's still parked in our parking spot. It hasn't moved.
Is the car currently registered in your name?
It is.
You bought the car 3 months before you sold it to them. Is that right?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Who did you buy it from?
I purchased it from a shop in Vista, where I live.
Name of the shop. And tell me why you purchased it.
The owner there, I purchased a different vehicle from him previously, and I'd paid off that vehicle, and it was not as nice as before the Elantra. When I went to go pay off the vehicle, he said, I have a better vehicle for you if you'd like to get out of the older one. And I said, sure, because the other vehicle that I was driving didn't look great, and I was ready to go into the new Elantra. So that's why I purchased it from him.
Okay, and how much did you pay him for it?
$6,800.
And you had it for 3 months.
That's right.
And you sold it for how much?
$4,600.
You want to tell me why after 3 months you took a $2,100 loss on the car, Ms. Donges?
I purchased another vehicle, a BMW from an auto auction here in LA for a very good price. It's what I always wanted, a German car. And I did that on June 6th because I didn't really expect to find the car I wanted by going to that auction, but I did. And when I brought it home, I'm only allotted one car spot to park my car where I rent a room.
Is there a lien on the car that you sold to the plaintiffs?
No lien.
Is there a lien on the car?
There was a lien on the car, yes.
There was, not there is.
There what?
There was, because I was purchasing that other vehicle, the Hyundai Elantra.
Listen to me carefully.
Okay.
On the car that you sold to the plaintiffs, was there a lien? That's a yes or a no?
There was a lien. Advanced Auto, the shop.
How much?
It was $4,640 was what I had to pay.
Did you pay them off?
Yes.
Just a second. Did you pay them?
Yes.
Is my question. Did you pay them?
Absolutely, yes.
Did you pay Advanced Auto?
Yes.
Is that correct, that you got a clear title to the car when you registered it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you paid $4,600 for the car?
Yes.
Is that correct? And you want your money back?
Yes, ma'am.
And pursuant to the contract, Ms. Donges, they are entitled to their money back because in order to fix the car, to make it drivable, they have to spend more than $1,000. You signed the agreement. You sold this car within a couple of months. Something doesn't smell right to me. Ordinarily, you do understand that when you buy a used car, you buy it as it is. Just for my own information, what prompted you to put in that caveat in the contract that said if any of the mechanics need fixing in excess of $1,000, without a date, by the way? It doesn't say within a week, within a month. It just said, $1,000. What prompted you to put that in?
So typically when I have bought cars in the past, I like to have a mechanic look at them. But the defendant, so I felt a little uncomfortable not having a mechanic able to look at it, so I thought that might just protect us.
That's very good, because I was going to say, good idea when buying a used car to have a mechanic check it out.
Yeah.
But in this case, the contract is clear. You're entitled to your money back. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,600. Thank you. We're done.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Well, we're very happy to get our money back and finally be able to put this behind us and move on.
I've learned do not sign anything that's kind of open-ended like that.
With the transmission issue, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm not a car mechanic, and I don't know that.
That said, they got a really good deal for the $4,600, and if they didn't want the vehicle...
And we were trusting heavily with what our mechanics was saying.
Perhaps they should have put a for sale sign up there, because there's nothing wrong with the transmission.
We wanted to make sure all of our T's and I's were dots and crossed so we could make sure we have a safe vehicle for my family.
There was just nothing wrong with the transmission. There was maybe some buyer's remorse.
The first time when I was driving it to get it looked at and the check engine light came on.
That I understand now whenever I purchase a vehicle and it says at the bottom as is.
Definitely have your mechanic look at it next time, even though we have a great contract.
That's for a reason. I will never do this again.
It would have saved a lot of time and energy if we would have met at a mechanic.
All parties in the matter of Curlin versus Morrell. Step to the podium.
Jeremiah Morrell for backing into his car in a convenience store parking lot.
Mr. Curlin.
Yes, Your Honor.
Each one of you claimed that an automobile accident that occurred in a parking lot was the fault of the other. And according to what I read, this automobile accident happened on January 20th of this year.
That's correct.
And you were driving a 2019 Honda.
That's correct.
Do you own it or lease it?
I own it.
When did you purchase it?
I believe November of 2019.
You bought it new?
It was used. 6,000 miles on it.
Who did you buy it from?
Norm Reeves Honda in Huntington Beach.
Did you pay cash for it?
No.
Or do you have a loan on it?
I have a loan on it.
You have a loan on it.
Yes.
And who holds the loan?
Honda Finance.
And in your agreement with Honda Finance, you have to maintain insurance, both liability and collision.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you have insurance?
I did.
And what was the deductible on your insurance?
$1,000.
Okay, so that your claim for $5,000 is sort of ridiculous, right? Because you had the car fixed, I assume.
I got the car fixed. The number is contingent on what I had to go through.
I don't care what you...
Okay.
It's a car accident, sir. It's a car accident. It's not a hanging. So you had a $1,000 deductible.
Correct.
Did you pay the $1,000 to Honda to...
Yes.
Yes, and you paid them by check?
By card. I have the receipt right here.
By credit card. And the credit card says $1,000?
Yes, Your Honor.
Show me.
I also have a bank statement.
This accident happened in January, and you didn't have the car fixed until June.
Correct.
Any reason for that?
I had to save the money to pay for it.
Save what money?
The $1,000
For the deductible.
Correct.
Okay. Very good. So now that we figured out that $5,000 is not the right figure, you're actually suing for $1,000, which is your deductible. You went to a convenience store where this accident took place in the parking lot. Was anybody in the car with you?
Yes. My coworker, Dave, was in the car in the front passenger seat with me.
Okay, good. I'm going to hear from him in a moment.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I asked him if he was okay. He said, yeah, he's fine. He asked me if I was okay. I said, yeah. He also mentioned that his brother has a body shop and that we can go and get it fixed right now.
Does your brother have a body shop?
No.
Just a second. Does your brother have a body shop?
No, that's incorrect.
Who do you know that has a body shop?
Graham Curlin says fellow motorist and backed into his car.
What time of the day did you arrive in the parking lot to go to the convenience store?
Around 12:30.
What did you buy?
I believe some water. I was on my lunch break from work.
Had you had lunch?
I did. And we went there
What
to
did you have for lunch?
Del Taco, right across the parking lot.
So what did you go to the convenience store for?
To get water.
They didn't have that at the taco place?
No, not bottled water to take back to work.
Okay. Did you want the bottled water, or did your friend Dave?
I believe he got some items, but I went there to get a beverage for myself.
And you got it and got back into the car?
Correct.
And you were parked alongside other cars, so you started to back out?
Correct.
You have the diagram. I'd like it put up. Good. So you are one parking slip away from the defendant. Was there a car parked in between you and the defendant?
There was.
So that's missing a car, a green car, in between plaintiff and defendant. There was one car missing.
Correct.
In that diagram.
Correct.
Okay. So you pulled out backwards and you were proceeding to exit the parking lot.
Correct.
And at what point did you see the defendant starting to back out?
As soon as I had a view of his truck from the top of the car, at that point, I applied my brakes to a complete stop.
Just 1 second. What kind of car was parked in between?
A sedan.
Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly what it was. It was a sedan, though.
It was a sedan?
Yes.
Do you remember, sir?
Yeah, it was a van.
It was a van?
Yeah.
So a big car?
Yeah.
So when you saw him starting to pull out, you applied your brakes?
Correct.
What happened next?
I held my horn down without lifting it up. My car was completely stopped. I had my horn down. His truck continued to back out. I'm assuming he did not hear me. His trailer hitch impacted my grill where he did not stop. He continued until his bumper pushed up my hood. I have the evidence of the pictures of what the car looks like afterwards. But at that point, he stopped his car. I saw his reverse lights go, and then he went back into his spot. I pulled right next to him. Me and the witness, my coworker, got out of the car. I asked him if he was okay. He said, yeah, he's fine. He asked me if I was okay. I said, yeah. And then what had happened is his phone didn't work, and so he wanted me to take pictures of everything and send it to him. He also mentioned that his brother has a body shop and that we can go and get it fixed right now.
Does your brother have a body shop?
No.
Just a second. Does your brother have a body shop?
No, that's incorrect.
Who do you know that has a body shop?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I backed completely out of my spot, came my spot. I turned all my stuff into my insurance. My insurance did their due diligence and decided a no fault for both parties.
He's leaving out a bunch of information.
Okay, good. Just a second.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Graham Curlin says fellow motorist Jeremiah Morrell backed out of a parking spot and backed into his car.
Does your brother have a body shop?
No.
Just a second. Does your brother have a body shop?
No, that's incorrect.
Who do you know that has a body shop?
My brother owns a car dealership, and I suggested that he does have body shops.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. All right, good.
So, and he's a witness to that as well. And I said,
I believe, so far I'm believing you. You don't have to worry. So far I'm believing you.
All right. So I said I couldn't do that. I'm on my lunch break. I have to go back to work. And then he said, okay, let's just let our insurance take care of it. And I said, okay. And I asked him at that point, are you admitting fault? And he said, yes. And I also have my witness here to attest to that. We got back into the car. I went back to work. He left.
Well, did you exchange insurance information and license and registration?
Yes, I have pictures.
You did that?
Yes, I have pictures of all that. Would you like to see them?
Okay. I'd like to see photographs of your car.
Okay. These are sideways.
On the grill and on the bumper.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. I want to know, you said first his car, the trailer hitch, hit the grill or the bumper. Which was it? I don't remember.
It was the trailer hitch. The trailer hitch impacted my grill.
Your grill?
Yes, and then it continued until his bumper
continued to go back.
Yeah, because he has like a 2002 Silverado, and so it's higher off the ground. And what you see here is where the bumper hit the hood and pushed it up. And this is another image of my hood, like where it ended up. It ended up
so would you take that top picture away and go to the one right before it. Show me, point on the picture. It's more towards one side. It's not right in the middle. Is that correct?
Oh, where the bumper did?
Yes. It's more towards one side.
It's on the right side.
Right. I got it.
Because he wasn't completely pulled out. Okay.
That's enough. Perfect. No, I got it. Okay. Story.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Story.
I came into the 7-Eleven, and I'd gone inside to grab myself a Red Bull. Then I came back outside, got into my truck. I backed completely out of my spot, pulled back into my spot, like you said. We exchanged information, and I turned all my stuff into my insurance. My insurance did their due diligence, went through all the information, and decided a no fault for both parties.
He's leaving out a bunch of information.
Okay, good. Just a second. You backed out and you didn't see his little car. That's what happened. You backed out and you didn't see his little car.
I backed out.
That's what happened.
I looked both ways and I didn't see his car, and he was in a hurry going through the parking lot.
You didn't see his... No. You backed out and didn't see his car, sir. That's what happened.
Okay.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
You were laid off because of COVID?
A couple says the virus left them vulnerable.
You were illegally locked out.
He threatened to punch me in the face.
Judge Judy.
I think the accidents happen, and I turned mine to my insurance. I gladly paid my $1,000 deductible. He could have done the same. He tried to fight it. He didn't want to pay his $1,000 deductible.
I think she's right on. She made a good choice.
I'm happy that he got his $1,000. He's got his car fixed.
You know, no one really has any integrity these days.
I love how he brought up integrity because
I asked for his insurance.
That was the damage. He sued me for $10,000 so him and his buddies could...
And he gave me an old insurance card.
Collaborate together and take a little vacation.
Police do not show up unless there's an injury on site.
But I think it's ridiculous that he's trying to sue me for an extra $8,000 for loss of wages. I bet he doesn't make $8,000 a month.
I'm glad it's settled.
I mean, accidents happen.
Somebody's usually responsible for an accident.
A disputed path to their crash.
I was trying to get into this lane here.
But she was already in that lane.
No, I wasn't even in that lane.
I'm actually liking this case.
Now their conflict is at a crossroads.
He's 100% at fault when he hit my car.
Well, they only sent her 50%. She wants the whole thing. What do you think?
This is Judge Judy. Meredith Less is suing fellow motorist William Frankie for an accident on the road.
Judge, this is case number 42 on the calendar in the matter of Les versus Frankie. Parties are sworn in.
Miss Les, you had a car accident with the defendant over a year ago.
Correct.
You claimed that the accident was his fault. You did nothing of COVID. You had enough time to have your car fixed, so now you're pursuing a claim against him.
Correct.
That's where we're at. You were driving a 2009 Lincoln, and I assume you had liability insurance, but not collision.
Correct.
With whom were you insured?
Geico?
Do you still have the car?
Yes, I do.
And Mr. Frankie, what kind of a car were you driving on August 24th of 2019?
A Toyota Prius,
What year?
2012.
And did you have liability and or collision on the car?
Yes, I had full coverage.
Full.
Yeah.
With what company?
Kemper?
For my information, when you had this accident, did you exchange information with Miss Les? Did you give her your insurance card and your registration and your license?
Yeah. I don't remember about the license and registration, but I definitely gave her my insurance.
You had never met Mr. Frankie before, is that right?
That's correct.
So if you had an accident that you allege was his fault and you decided not to call the police to the accident, I assume you were satisfied that you had sufficient contact information for him.
Correct. We exchanged all information.
So you had his insurance card.
Correct.
When did you notify his insurance company?
I contacted my insurance that day, and I got in touch with Kemper within a few days, and they had me go through their process.
And what happened?
I submitted all the photos and information through the app they told me to download, and then that was it. And then I think within a month I got information regarding what the estimate for repairs would be.
Okay, did you get a check from his insurance company?
In July of this year, but I haven't done anything with it because...
What was the check that you got from Kemper Insurance?
It was 50% of the estimated repair costs.
Would you please tell me what was the amount of the check?
The amount was $715.43.
And when you accepted the check, you signed a document that said that that was in full satisfaction of your claim.
No, I did not.
You had to, otherwise they're not going to send you a check.
Well, what happened was I took the car to a mechanic, and they called the insurance, and we're speaking with them, and they said they would send over a check. And then when I got the check, I called because it was for half the amount when they said they were going to pay 100% of the estimated repair cost.
Did you cash the check?
No, I have the check physically
still
with
have
me.
it?
Yes.
Great. Take it out. Good. I'm actually liking this case. So you have an estimate.
I do.
To fix your car.
Through Kemper,
I'd like
yes.
to take a look at it because, Mr. Frankie, if your insurance company sent her a check, they found that you were at fault. Your insurance company found you were at fault. You understand that?
Correct, 50% from my understanding.
Well, they only sent her 50%. Your understanding from what she says is she got 50%. Your insurance company found you were sufficiently at fault to send her a check.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to tell me about the accident in a second. Would you just put up on my evidence screen the estimate of having the car fixed?
Yes, I already did.
$1,430. Okay, great. Now would you show me the damage to the car?
I have two photos. Here's the first one. It's the right passenger side above the wheel fender area.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have a check. So the estimate is for $1,430.
Correct.
To fix it. You got a check for them for $715. Can you tell me why you're suing him for $1,430?
Well, I'm
Should
suing him
actually
for
be
the
suing him
full
for-
amount because he's 100% at fault when he hit my car.
Yeah, but you already have a check for half.
Okay, so when I spoke with my insurance agent, or you take Mr. Williams to court. So I haven't done anything with the check. I'm not going to because I'm here today.
Okay. So you have that check.
Correct.
You have that check. Take it back and put it on your desk. Now, who was making a left turn? Were you both preparing to make a left turn?
No.
I was preparing to make a left turn.
Okay. And was Miss Les in front or behind you?
She came from behind me.
All right. Miss Les, you're driving down. You're driving in the same direction. You're in the left lane. He's in the left lane. He was looking to make a left turn?
So I was in the middle lane on the street. He was in the lane to my right, and he was somewhat behind me. Like, we weren't head-to-head on that. So when I kept going and then he decided to turn, he hit the front passenger side of my car. I was going straight.
You were going straight, and he says you were making a left turn?
I was getting into the turn lane to make a left turn.
But she was in the middle.
Yeah,
You were on her right.
I was on her right, correct.
I'm trying to visualize
I have
this.
some pictures.
She's in the middle lane, you're on the right lane.
Correct.
I'd like to see them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, great. Oh, that's better.
I'm the blue car.
I'm not following. You're both going in. I see where her car is.
We're going this way.
In that direction.
Correct.
And
I had just
she
come,
is the orange.
Correct. So I just come from this direction on a street, and I took a left turn onto La Brea here. So I took a left turn.
Okay.
And I intended to go up here to take another left down here. And this,
Okay,
so
but
I wanted to get.
But she's in your space.
So yes, I think she was. I assumed she was also intending to take a left turn on to Romaine from La Brea here. That's what I assumed, because I was trying to get into this turn lane here. And there's...
Right, but she was already in that lane.
So I did not see her in this lane. I thought that you had to... I think she came from here into this turn lane, and I was going into this turn lane. I was going into this turn lane to get here.
I see that.
I hit her here because I'm assuming she was going to go straight through to take a left turn also.
She was going straight.
Correct.
No, she said she was going straight. You were not making a left turn.
No, I wasn't even in that lane.
She was in this turn lane. So
I was in the middle
you
lane.
Want to show me where you were?
Sure, I would love
You want to show me where you were?
And I wouldn't be making a turn because I know I was heading to Los Feliz where I'd... So...
Okay.
There I am in the middle lane, going northbound.
And you're going straight.
Correct.
And he's all the way on your right.
Correct.
And he wanted to get over to make a left turn.
Correct.
I got it. Did you have any damage to your car, sir?
The damage was very minimal. I have a picture of my mirror, but it was very minimal. Do you want to see the picture?
Well, is the mirror what hit her car?
That's what I thought hit her car. I'm not sure. I think when I have pictures of her car and I see that her mirror, it looked like I hit her mirror and possibly her fender.
Okay.
But I was unsure if I hit the fender when I saw the damage.
Okay. Mr. Frankie, you know, it's an accident. It's not an on purpose. It's an accident. Somebody's usually responsible for an accident. Sometimes it's both people's fault, but usually it's one person's fault. That looks to me, what I saw, that this accident was your fault. You were in the right lane trying to get over to the left lane, and you hit her car. Didn't cause a lot of damage to yours. It's an accident, right? You had insurance. Your insurance company copped out. Her damage was $1,400. They paid her $7,000. She wants the whole thing. What do you think?
I know that I was intending to go into, I'd already went this direction to go to Willoughby, which is further down, if you want to look right here on the chart. So Romaine is up here. Willoughby is down here. Parking, there's a parking structure for Target off of Romaine over here that I intended to go to. And you can only get there from going to Romaine. You can't get there from the other direction. So I went down, made a U-turn on Willoughby, came back.
I understand. I understand exactly what you're saying to me, sir, but you were in the right lane going to the left lane.
Can I show you another picture then?
And you hit her.
Yes.
She didn't hit you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't think anybody's driving in the parking area.
Sometimes you can in California because if there's no parking between certain times and certain times.
Oh, this is true. You're right.
And later today.
What special thing about this pontoon boat motivated you to spend 3 times as much as you could have for cash?
Meredith Less says fellow motorist William Frankie merged into her lane and ran into her car.
Now, she didn't hit you. You hit her.
But there's a flaw in the other. So if you would bring up that picture that she showed, you can see, but I don't have her picture. But I do have this Google map right here, whichever you'd like to look at.
Those things.
This right here.
Well,
you
let
can
me see the Google map. They confuse me usually.
So right here, I can turn it so it's the same as the chart.
Okay, better.
Okay, so here's Romaine. We're going up here. This is the turn lane. You can see the arrow right there.
No, I understand that. Where was your car?
So do you see that?
Was your car in the right lane?
The parking spots right here, where you can park your car. So
yes,
I was not.
Is what you're telling me there were parked cars there?
Yeah,
were there cars parked there?
I parked there. I pulled off the road and parked there from.
For what?
From after I got hit here, I pulled right over here, and I have a picture showing where my car was parked right after that.
Well, you didn't get hit because your car hit her.
Yeah, so I parked right there. I was trying to get into this turn lane, and I don't think anybody's driving in this in the parking area, was what I'm saying. There's two other lanes here.
Well, sometimes you can in California, because if there's no parking between certain times and certain times, a whole...
Oh, this is true. You're right.
Streets. There are streets where you're not allowed to park at all during certain times, and there's free-flowing traffic there.
It was at 7 o'clock, which is a rush hour.
So that would have been no parking in that area, as it is on Wilshire, for instance. You're not allowed to park after 4 o'clock on Wilshire in the park lane.
This is correct.
Mr. Frankie, I think that you owe the plaintiff $715, and then she's got the check from your insurance company. Now you're whole. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $715. We're done.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
She makes the final call.
She looked to the evidence and saw the truth in what transpired that day.
I came in here just trusting that justice would prevail, and I kind of trust the final call.
He stated he was fiddling with the GPS.
Accidents happen.
Trying to get the car fixed.
All parties in the matter of Vasugi versus Hill, step to the podium, please.
Hamid and Susan Vasugi are suing William Hill for the cost of a pontoon boat, a boat motor, and registration fees.
Mr. and Mrs. Vasugi, you purchased what you call a party boat.
Yes.
From the defendant, spent a lot of money not only for the boat, but for parts for it, for furniture for it, and now claim that you can't register it because of certain problems with the defendant's registration, and that you ordered a motor for the boat, which he has not put in to the boat.
Yes.
Correct. Suing for $5,000. I have a couple of questions. Do you have a photograph of this boat that you purchased from the defendant?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at it. Are those pontoons on either side?
Yes.
So it's a pontoon boat?
Yes.
And this pontoon boat is 30 years old, according to your complaint?
Yes, it's a 1989.
And how much do you claim that you paid the defendant for it?
$6,500 cash and $547 DMV fees.
You paid him, according to you, $6,500 in cash. Now, my question to you, Ms. Vasugi, before we go any further is, why would you pay him $6,500 in cash if you're a functional illiterate on the internet, as I am, and you can go on the internet and you can buy a 1989 pontoon boat for anywhere from $2,500 to $5,500? And I have owned a pontoon boat. So I would like you to tell me what special thing about this pontoon boat motivated you to spend 3 times as much as you could have for cash than you could have any place else where I'm looking on the internet.
The body of the boat is in good condition. Replace all the furniture, and we wanted to fix the current motor, but we changed our mind. We thought it was a good value. We have some boating experience.
Just a second. You know, Mrs. Vasugi, I'm not buying that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So far you've spent $16,000 on a boat with no proof that the money went to him when you could have bought a 31-year-old boat for $5,000.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Hamid and Susan Vasugi claim William Hill sold them a pontoon boat with no title or registration.
Okay. Now, after you paid him, allegedly, $6,500 for the boat, you invested a whole lot of other money in it. Tell me what other money you invested in the boat, because I need that for my record.
Sure. We bought some furniture for the boat. This is patio furniture.
I have that here. And how much did you pay? Just a second. And how much did you pay for the furniture?
About, it was $3,260.
So far, you're up to almost $10,000.
Yes.
For this 30-year-old boat.
A bimini top.
What kind of work do you and your husband do?
We're retired. We sold a car.
I'd like you to whom?
To an individual who paid us cash. I have the bill of receipt.
Does it have his name on it and his phone number?
It has his name.
Well, get me his name and his phone number. I'd like to know exactly how much this person paid you for your boat.
For our vehicle. No, this was for our vehicle.
He says he paid you. Just a second. It says he paid Mr. Klein, who I could call. I'm sure you have his number because there's an address there.
Yes, we do. We do.
It says he paid $8,000 in May of 2020. Well, the date has changed on that bill of sale to, it was something else before.
Yes.
Somebody tried to write May 18th.
And I have his phone number if you'd like to call him. But we sold him a 2008 Mercedes-Benz E350. He gave us $8,000 in cash, and that's what we used to purchase the boat.
That's not what you say in your complaint, madam.
Well, we considered
you decided to sell. No. In your complaint, you say, we decided to sell our speedboat and buy a patio boat to cruise around. So far, you've spent $10,000
we didn't
on
sell
a boat
the speedboat.
that you could buy.
We still have it.
No, so far, just a second. So far, Ms. Vasugi, you've spent $10,000, and that's before the motor that you said you
Yes.
bought from him. You spent $10,000 that you could have bought for $3,500. So we're up to almost $10,000, and then you decided to invest in a motor. And how much money did you give him for the motor?
$6,100.
And do you have a check for that cleared?
Yes.
And I'd like to see.
It's not actually a check. We took cash from the bank for $6,000, and then we had $1,000 out of our pocket.
Miss
100 out of our pocket.
Miss Vasugi, so far you've spent $16,000 on a boat with no proof that the money went to him when you could have bought a 31-year-old boat for $5,000.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
All right, so I'm going to tell you this, Miss Vasugi. I may be a skeptic, but I'm dismissing your case without prejudice. You go back to your local small claims court, and if they buy your evidence, good for you. I don't.
I mean,
do you understand?
I don't understand because I have proof of everything I spent. He gave me stickers that don't even belong to my boat.
What I'm telling you is neither you nor your husband look like in your cash transactions that amount to over $10,000.
They do cost that much, Your Honor.
Just a second. They may, and someone may believe you. I don't. You're no worse for your arrival here. You go back to your local small claims court and convince a judge, just like me. So I'm dismissing your case without prejudice because I don't buy it. Got it?
Okay.
Hope you have it.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
The boat was worth that much money.
I was happy with the decision.
We never got a title or registration. We were given invalid stickers and an invalid license plate.
I have all the titles.
I guess we'll take it back to court.
I'd like it to be done.
An ex-husband's breakdown.
His car needed to be repaired.
It was going to cost an arm and a leg.
An ex-wife's rescue.
I gave him the money, and he got it fixed.
Sounds like a very friendly divorce.
Well, we were friendly then.
Now, does she want her money?
Everything started going downhill once she found out I had a girlfriend.
Or revenge?
I think you're pulling my leg, Miss Fernandez. I think that this is a judicial leg pulling.
This is Judge Judy. Ex-husband Manuel Fernandez for unpaid loans and his portion of their children's school supplies and Christmas gifts.
Yeah, this is case number 28 on the calendar in the matter of Fernandez versus Fernandez. Both parties have been sworn in, Your Honor.
Ms. Fernandez, you and Mr. Fernandez had been married for 20 years. You have one child together. Mr. Fernandez had another child, and after your separation, you kept custody of both children.
Right.
Am I correct?
Yes.
And you were divorced in February of 2019.
Correct.
Your claim has several parts to it. I'm advising you I'm only entertaining one of those claims. You have a claim for participation in Christmas presents, in school supplies, and in clothes for the children after the divorce. Now, you have a judgment of divorce that provides for support for the child that is his?
Yes.
Is he currently paying that order of support?
Yes.
Is the amount that he is paying an amount that was agreed to by the two of you by stipulation or agreement in the divorce?
We agreed when we divorced.
Good. Then the part of your claim that I will hear, Ms. Fernandez, is your claim of a loan. And that you said was a loan that took place in October after the divorce that you made to him. You want to tell me about that loan?
His car, and borrow money for that.
Well, this was a car that he had when you
correct.
divorced?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that correct, Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of car was it?
It was a Chevy Trailblazer SUV.
Was that purchased during the marriage?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, so tell me how he came about to ask you for this loan.
Well, when we went to Vegas and the whole...
Just a second. You went to Vegas. What date?
It was in September 2019.
September 20th. You went to Vegas. Did the children go with you?
The children went.
So the four of you went to Vegas?
Yes.
Where did you stay?
In the Tahitian Resort and Village in Vegas.
And you used the Chevy because it was a larger car to travel in?
Yes.
Is that why you used the older car?
Yes.
Had you been on long trips with that car before?
Yes.
When immediately prior to this trip in September did you use that car? Over the summer?
Yes. Every year we take the kids to Knoxbury Farm, so we took them maybe in June or July to Knoxbury Farm.
Sounds like a very friendly divorce.
Well, we were friendly then.
It sounds like a very friendly divorce.
Okay, you can say it's that.
Okay, so now the car has problems shortly after the trip that the family took to Vegas?
Well,
Tell me about this alleged
It actually
loan.
broke down when we were there. And we took it to it was going to be a lot, like the alternator, or I don't know, he probably knows what it's called. But it was going to take like 10 days, and we couldn't stay that long. So the guy told us just leave early, like at 4 o'clock in the morning, and drive slow. And it should be fine till we made it back to San Diego, so that's what we did. And then when we came back, he needed money to get the car fixed, so I let him.
Well, tell me about it. I want to hear about it. You came back with the children.
He just asked me if I had money or I could put on my credit card for him. I told him that I can...
Well, who paid for the hotel when you were away in Vegas?
I think I put it on my card, but he agreed to pay me money for that as well.
Well, did he?
No.
Well, Miss Fernandez, I think you're pulling my leg, Miss Fernandez. I think that this is a judicial leg pulling. So you don't think he paid you back from putting the hotel on your credit card, but you're not suing him for that. You're suing him for Christmas presents.
Well, I'm suing him for
supplies in September and money that you put on your credit card to have a car fixed that you and the family all use. Where do you live, Mr. Fernandez?
In El Cajon, California.
And who do you live with?
My girlfriend.
And when did you start to have this girlfriend?
2013.
What month? Just a sec. Don't speak.
I'm not good with dates, but I'm pretty much sure what she just said, 2013. That's when everything started going downhill once she found out I had a girlfriend.
Well, when do you think...
Found out this year, maybe about like 5 months ago.
2020?
2020, yes.
How did she find out?
From my young daughter.
Now, when you went away together to Vegas or to Knott's Berry Farms, she didn't have that information. Is that what you're telling me?
You're correct.
How long have you been living with your girlfriend?
For about almost a year. I kept it a secret.
I don't think it was a year. I think he was out of the house August 1st, 2018, and then I never knew where he lived after that. So it's 2 years in August.
Well, when you went away with him on these family vacations, didn't you ask him where he was living?
He told me he was living with his brother.
And you believed him?
I believed him.
Yeah. So now let's get back to this loan to have the car fixed. I'm waiting. You have to tell me about a contract.
We didn't have a contract. He signed a little, like a little receipt that I gave him because I wanted to make sure he was going to pay me the money back.
I'd like to see that.
That's the bottom.
I don't know what that is.
It's a receipt, and it just says that I gave him a loan.
I see that it's a receipt. Tell me about signing this receipt. Did you sign a receipt from her?
To be honest, Judge, I don't remember signing a receipt.
What I'd like you to do is, Officer Bird's going to give you a piece of paper. I'd like you to sign your name.
Okay.
He didn't.
Don't speak. Sign your name, sir.
Would you like me to sign it or initial it?
Yeah. I would like you to do both. Would you put it up there? Thank you. Now I'd like to see her piece of evidence again. Yeah, he never signed that. He never signed that. That's not anything that he signed. You want to tell me, sir, your version of this money for the repair of your car?
I do recall the repair. It was a long trip that weekend. We went to Knott's Berry Farm, and then we also took the kids to Las Vegas. Going up there, I felt the transmission skipping gears, so I told my ex-wife, is there something wrong with the SUV? Once we get to Las Vegas, we was going to get it checked out. Once I determined that it was a transmission and it was going to cost an arm and a leg, and we just didn't have the money at the time, we did drive it back to San Diego. When we did get back to San Diego, I did ask Miss Clarice if she can help me pay for the SUV. She did agree on it, and I just assumed that I already paid my portion for that transmission. And
how did you do that?
I actually took it out my credit card.
Well, show me.
I don't have no receipt.
And I need a bill for the transmission.
The receipt that she just showed you, that's from the transmission place.
Nah, it isn't. It didn't work.
Dean.
What's the name of the place that... Just a second. Ms. Fernandez, what's the name of the place that did the transmission work?
I didn't take the car. I didn't get the receipt for it. I gave him the money and he did it. So I don't know where the place was. All I know is I gave him the money and he got it fixed.
What's the name of the place where you had your transmission fixed?
The transmission place is Jesus Transmission, and it was in Spring Valley, California. And it took over almost like 4 weeks. I just don't have the I did not bring the receipt with me, ma'am.
Well, we can get that. Jesus Transmission? Is that the name of the place?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken your car there before?
No, ma'am. A mechanic at my job recommended that place for me.
Was it a big place or a small place?
It's a small place, ma'am.
Jesus Transmissions?
Yes, ma'am. That's the sign that was on the gate.
And where are they located? In what city?
It was in Spring Valley, California.
Okay. Now, Ms. Fernandez, where did you get the $1,500 from?
From my bank.
Do you have a bank statement?
No. I didn't print my bank statement.
Well, why don't we get one? Just to show me where you withdrew $1,500. That would be a good idea to have, right?
Right.
Because that happened in October of 2019, right?
Right.
Great. And what bank was that you took the money out of?
It's either Navy Federal or San Diego County Credit Union.
Oh, that's easy enough to get. Okay. All I need is the page from either bank which indicates that in October of 2019, you withdrew at one time $1,500. And I will assume that once you have that, that is what you gave to Mr. Fernandez. Do you understand?
Yes.
Great. We'll recall. Thank you. Bye.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
Did I miss something? Did I see either one of those two dogs attacking a goat on that video?
That's my gate, and they are walking back.
I see them, but I didn't see them attacking anything.
But I have evidence of that.
Well, show me.
In a case recalled from earlier today, Clarice Fernandez claims ex-husband Manuel Fernandez owes for loans to have his vehicle repaired.
Judge, this is recall of case number 28 in the matter of Fernandez versus Fernandez. Parties are reminded you're still under oath.
Thank you, Bert. Ms. Fernandez, you were going to produce for me a statement that in October you made a withdrawal for $1,500.
I couldn't find it. I think it was from my Capital One. I don't use the card anymore. The card's been closed. So okay.
Because I'm having some veracity issues.
Okay.
So
well, it seems like you didn't want to help me anyways.
No, I do want to help you if you have.
No, you don't want to. You don't want to hear the other things that we agreed upon. So that's what I was bringing him to court for, not just a loan.
No, I don't. You have a judgment of divorce. He has an obligation pursuant to that judgment of divorce with regard to payments to you that, according to you, he was living up to. And he is paying child support. So courts don't do that. They don't get involved in, I will pay for half the pencils and half the writing paper and half the books and a Christmas present if you buy. We don't do that. We'd be in business 24/7. Now, if there was a legitimate loan between you and your ex-husband with whom you clearly vacationed with your children after your divorce, I don't know what else. But clearly, at least according to you, on 2 occasions subsequent to the divorce, went away on extended vacations where you all stayed together. So it sort of tests veracity that there was a loan of $1,500 that you can produce nothing but a receipt that clearly he did not sign.
He did sign it.
No, I say he didn't sign it.
Okay, you can say whatever you want. That'll mean it's true.
Okay. Withdrew $1,500, and then I can determine if I believe it was a loan or 2 people who were still involved after a 20-year relationship, and you were away on a holiday with your children and the car broke down. So if you cannot produce that document for me, I'm going to dismiss your case without prejudice. You can go back to small claims court once you produce that document.
And they'll take care of it, and I'll get what I'm supposed to get.
And I'm sure that somebody else will, when they have the proper proof of the $1,500, so you can have this tape, will entertain the rest of your case. We're finished. Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
I agreed to the lower child support because he was going to help me with our son.
I haven't missed a payment since she took me to court.
Which he has not done.
Everything is on time. Child support, spousal support, so.
And then we agreed that he was going to pay for his daughter's expenses because his daughter lives with me.
She could say what she wants to say, but the payment is there.
She lives with me and I don't get money from him for her.
Ever since she found out about the girlfriend.
Once I realized he had a girlfriend, that's when
things kind of like went downhill between us.
He doesn't want to pay me what he needs to pay me.
Just want to be good parents to the kids and see my kids when I can.
I'll see him back in court.
All parties in the matter of Carrasco Tapia versus Cruz. Step to the podium, please.
Stephanie Carrasco Tapia is suing her neighbor of 2 goats she claims were attacked and killed by Eva's dogs.
Ms. Tapia, do you live in a rural area?
Yes.
Do you live in a home?
Yes.
And in the backyard you keep goats?
Yes.
Is it a fenced backyard?
Yes.
How many goats did you have?
I have 2 males, 2 females, and 1 baby.
Is it the 2 females that were injured?
Yeah.
And it is your claim that dogs owned by the defendant injured those 2 goats?
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, they died as a result of the wounds that they had.
Yes.
Ms. Cruz says that the dogs were not hers.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
But she's not responsible for her dogs.
No, she's responsible for her dogs. Your job is to prove to me that your goats were injured by a dog, as opposed to being injured by a coyote or by something else that could walk into your fence.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Stephanie Carrasco Tapia is suing her neighbor, Eva Cruz, for vet bills and the cost of 2 goats she claims were attacked and killed by Eva's dogs.
Now, how long have the 2 of you been neighbors?
2 years.
Does she live right next door to you?
Not in the corner of my street.
When were your goats injured?
In June 8th of 2020.
Now I'd like to see the proof that you have. First, that they were injured by dogs, and then we'll get to the fact that they were injured by her dogs. So I'd like to see what proof you have.
I had a video which
I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
Do you have it? I have to see it.
It's over there.
Okay. Is that the video?
Yes, that's correct. You can see the both dogs. It's a shepherd and people.
So this is a gate that you can walk right through. Did I miss something? Did I see either one of those 2 dogs attacking a goat on that video?
No, the video don't show that.
Did I miss something?
But they... No, don't show that, but that's my gate.
No, show them sitting down.
That's my gate, and they are walking back, like outside. They get into my property, and then you can see, like, walking out of my property.
I see them, but I didn't see them attacking anything.
But I have evidence of that.
Well, show me. Show me. I didn't see. There's no evidence that they attacked. Just a second.
I had a picture.
Ms. Tapia, there's no evidence on that video that the 2 dogs on your property, and you don't have a fence all around your property. They didn't knock down a fence. They walked through the fence.
Okay, so...
And then I saw one of them sit down, and one of them was sort of coming out. But at no time were these dogs behaving aggressively. Okay, now let me see what proof that you have that the dogs behaved in any way aggressively towards your goats.
Okay, so you can see the time and the date when the dogs get into my property, and that happened in June 8. And I took my goats to a hospital in June 8, the same day
June
like the
8th?
video. Yes.
Okay, but so far I didn't see dogs attacking your goats. I didn't see these two dogs attacking your goats. So I don't care what the hospital said so far. I need proof how your goats were injured.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, I need proof that your goats were injured by the defendant's dogs. She says they weren't even her dogs. But I need proof that they were opposed to being injured by a coyote or by a jackal or by something else that could walk into your fence. These dogs did not appear aggressive when they walked into your backyard. So I'm asking you, what proof do you have that I can see that proves to me that your goats were injured by a dog?
I don't have the video when they was attacked from her dogs because I don't have cameras.
Well, I don't know that they were,
like
Miss Tapia, I don't know. And if you have no proof that I can rely on that your goats were attacked by her dogs, this video doesn't show that. This video shows actually rather two docile dogs, whether they were hers or whether they weren't hers, whether she just fed them or not. But you didn't see it. And she, I assume, was sleeping also at 3 o'clock.
But
and
she's
the dogs
not-
didn't appear to do any damage.
But she's not responsible for her dogs, and also
No, she's responsible for her dogs. Your job is to prove to me that your goats were injured by a dog. I didn't see any evidence in this, and you acknowledge that there's no evidence here to show me any aggressive behavior by those dogs. I don't doubt that your goats were injured. What I'm saying to you is that you have no proof that the defendant, they were injured by a dog as opposed to something else. Anything could get into your yard because it really wasn't a totally fenced yard. It was open. Is that the extent of your evidence that your goats were injured by dogs?
Yeah.
Okay. Then your case is dismissed, Ms. Tapia. Thank you very much. We're done.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
My neighbor told me that he saw the dogs frequently.
I mean, there was no proof that the dogs actually attacked her animals.
Walking in the front of my house.
I did see them, but it wasn't her house. It was the neighbor's house.
And his house. And actually, one day...
The pets were not mine. They were rescued. They came to my house. I fed them and gave them water.
Her dogs trying to attack him.
I like animals. So...
yeah, I bring them to the hospital.
I said, bring me a bill and let me know if you need some help. I have friends that could help you.
Well, they give me a medicine, but they died after.
Yeah, I don't know her, but yes, I don't know where she lives. I never knew her address.
No more goats for now, yeah.
But yes, anyway, I do want to be a good neighbor.
Suspicions at the group.
Both dogs at the same time.
Then.
What happened when you got home?
There was blood.
A dog owner's shock.
It was a little gruesome. There was a piece of tail missing. It was like sliced. I couldn't believe what I saw.
Ultimately, Marley had to have most of his tail amputated.
This is Judge Judy. Brenda Cornejo is suing dog groomer Diane Layton for vet bills and damages resulting from injuries to her dog, Marley.
Judge, this is case number 84 on the calendar in the matter of Cornejo versus Layton. Parties have been sworn in. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Thanks, Bird. Miss Cornejo, this lovely animal is your dog. How old is the dog?
Marley is almost 7.
Have you had him?
I've had him. I adopted him.
You adopted him when?
It was June 16.
So you've had him about 4 years, a little over 4 years. Do you have any other dogs?
I do. I have a beautiful German Shepherd. She's a female. Her name is Penny. And they get along really well.
The defendant is a dog groomer, and from your papers, it appears as if you've used her in the past. Have you used her for both dogs in the past, or just This dog's name is Marley?
This is Marley. I've used her for both of my dogs because I would take them together.
How often do you take Marley to be groomed?
He gets groomed professionally about every, I would say, 2 to 3 months. It just depends on, how dirty he gets. But I bathe my dogs in between the groomings.
And other than this incident, which brings you to court today, you've been satisfied with her work?
Yes.
Now, according to your complaint, there did come a time, this is the last time that you took Marley to the defendant, that there was an issue.
Yes.
On what date was the last time that you took him for grooming by the defendant?
Yeah, so he was last groomed by Diane Layton on July 21st, 2020.
Prior to July 21st of 2020, had you noticed any injury to the dog's tail?
Absolutely not.
Tail? Nothing.
Absolutely not.
What time, if you recall, did you take Marley into Miss Layton to be groomed?
I dropped him off. It was, I would say, around 10:30, 11. And then I picked him up a little after 4:30. And so it was a longer than usual time for them to be groomed.
Does the defendant call you to tell you it's time to come and pick up the dogs?
Yes, she has to.
And in the prior 4 years that you've been taking Marley to her for grooming, approximately how long does that?
Yeah, I'd say like 2 hours.
So this was considerably longer.
Yes, it was unusually longer.
Will you tell me what happened when you went to pick up Marley on the 21st of July?
I got the call that the dogs were ready, and I went up to the counter, and she looked nervous and asked me to take both of my dogs at the same time. And I normally take one at a time because I can't manage, the shepherd and Marley. So I said, no, I can only take one at a time. I thought it was unusual that she wanted to rush me out with both dogs at the same time, but I said, no, I can only take one at a time. So I grabbed Marley first, and then I went from point A to point B. So the door of the grooming to my car, which was parked right in front of the shop. Right before I put him in the car, I did notice like a fresh drop of blood on the side of his body, but I looked and there was no cut. There was nothing there. So I thought it was unusual. But then I put him in the car and went back for my other dog. And then because of the way the parking situation is located in front of her shop, there's cars waiting for you. There's only like 2 parking spaces. And so they're waiting for you to move. So you
left?
Yeah, so it was very quick.
Left. What happened when you got home?
I picked them up by myself. Usually my son accompanies me, but as soon as I got home, he was out there waiting to help me bring the dogs down and through the side of the house to the backyard. And he was playing with them outside.
Were you watching them?
I was watching him outside of the porch door, and he was playing with them there.
So you were watching?
Uh-huh.
Okay, continue.
So he was under the porch playing with the dogs, and it was momentarily, and then he screamed and he yelled out, "Mom, the dog's bleeding." And he was like scared. So I went out there and I looked at Marley, and I couldn't believe what I saw. It was a little gruesome. There was a piece of tail like missing. It was like sliced. There was blood that apparently had restarted bleeding. There was like bone and flesh. I couldn't believe it. I was in a bit of a shock, like seeing my dog in this condition.
I want to go back for a moment. When you took Marley from the defendant's shop, you said you saw a drop of blood. Had you ever seen that before?
No. Because I didn't see any visible cuts on that side, I didn't know where it was coming from. Once I went outside to the porch and I assessed the dog and I saw him wagging his tail, and because the bleeding had restarted, he was, wagging the tail and flipping it to the side of his body. So, of course, the blood was coming from the tail and landing on...
Because the dog was, in fact, injured. We'll get to where and how that happened. You had substantial vet bills, and ultimately, Marley had to have most of his tail amputated.
Correct.
That's why you're here.
Correct.
The defendant has a whole other menu of excuses as to why this didn't happen as a result of her, but happened as a result of probably your neglect. So after you saw what happened, I assume you took the dog directly to your local vet, to the vet that you use.
Correct. There was no delay. So I called the vet, and unfortunately, it was almost closing time.
What did you do?
So I frantically started searching for another vet because I called my vet, and they said, we don't have any appointments.
So you found an emergency vet?
Yes.
I would just like to see the vet's report and bill. First, the report, if you would.
So they gave me this. This is what they gave me.
Okay. Did they stitch or bandage?
They did a clip and clean, and they did IV antibiotics. They placed a bandage and e-collar. They gave them
Did she go
antibiotics.
back? I can read. Did you take the dog back to another vet subsequently?
So this was the original vet visit, and we kept in touch.
Listen to me. The answer is either yes or no vet.
I took him back to the same vet until the 28th.
Okay. I would like to see the other bills and reports from the same vet.
So
this one was
that's
$400.
the first one. And then there was a recheck here for pain medication. And the rechecks aren't billed, so it's just rechecks. They gave me...
I understand. I'm reading it. Don't tell me what they said.
Okay.
And that was on what date, the 28th?
Yes.
Did you take the dog back to this vet or to your regular vet the next time?
I took him back to my regular vet as a second opinion.
On what date?
On
what date?
29th, and I have a note.
May I see it, please?
Yes. So they actually gave me an exam note.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Sorry.
When was the next time? Just give me the date.
So he was...
Just give me the date. I see that the dog was not eating.
On the 29th of the morning was the second opinion from my vet. And then...
I see that.
And within an hour, I
see
took...
that. When was the next?
On the same day. The same day his tail was amputated with surgical intervention.
At what vet?
True Care for Pets. It's an emergency.
For that, please.
So this shows...
Don't tell me what it shows. Just put it down. And can I see the bill for that, please?
Yes, so...
Okay, and now Marley is fine. Look, he has a shorter tail.
Yes.
Looks perfectly happy.
Yeah.
Okay, but he wasn't for a long time. All right, Miss Layton, tell me what happened on the 21st of July.
On the 21st, she came in around 11 o'clock, and we start taking our dogs in at 7 o'clock, so she was one of the last dogs we took for the day, so that's why they were there so long. I have a copy of Marley's card that we write everything on as they come in, as I do on every dog we do. And it shows Marley has been having trouble with that tail since 2018.
2018?
Yes.
And what kind of trouble has Marley been having with the tail?
We have been taking fly eggs off the end of that tail since 2018, the very tip of it.
Explain that. Look at me. You've been doing what? Explain to me what you've been doing.
When we put him in the bathtub and the big crust is there, it's full of fly eggs. So when we have him in the tub, we soak them all off, clean it all up, and each year it has progressively gotten worse and worse and worse. And she's done nothing about it up until...
Your Honor, that's incorrect, and I can show you proof.
Just a second. I would like you to show me on her card, starting in 2018, where you document that.
You want 2018 only?
No, well, I want to start with 2018, where you document the fact that you told her that this was a problem and that she's done nothing about it. But that's the tip of the tail.
Yes.
That doesn't require any surgical removal. She had, according to you, fly eggs that were crusted, and you soaked it, and you removed the eggs and continued with the grooming.
Yes, the problem with it is when they leave the fly eggs for that long, they get a bacterial infection, and the tail will not heal without antibiotics. And it just has progressively gotten worse and worse.
Your Honor, can I show proof?
Just a second. I would like you to point to me what you're talking about. Okay, and read it to me.
Okay, August 9th of 2018 was the first time we started seeing trouble.
Tell me what it says.
It says...
Read exactly what it says in 2018.
She takes a 7 on the body, which makes the dog bald, which makes him more susceptible to flies.
Okay, no. Just read what it says.
7, everything. Number 10 on muzzle. Had bloody tail.
Wait, just a second. Just a second. I don't want to hear you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I only want you to read me what you did, not your groomer. That's hearsay. Are any of them here today?
I didn't bring any. I thought the card was good enough. It has their initials and their signatures.
How do I know who they are?
Brenda Cornejo is accusing dog groomer Diane Layton of lacerating her dog's tail during a grooming appointment. Brenda says the tail was amputated as a result.
Okay, read what it says, please. I can't read your handwriting.
This is one of my groomers. Had bloody tail after bath. I did not do.
Oh, no. That's it. Just a second. I only want you to read me what you did, not your groomer.
These are all what different groomers have done to Marley. Every one of these.
Just a second. Miss Layton, do these groomers still work for you?
Well, most of them. I only have 6 now because of COVID.
But most of these groomers work for you. I'm not reading what they said. That's hearsay. I can't read what they observed. Are any of them here today?
I didn't bring any. I thought the card was good enough. It has their initials and their signatures.
How do I know who they are? Maybe you wrote that. Maybe your sister wrote. The way courts work. Courts have to have witnesses that they can examine. And they can say, describe what you meant. That if you said you saw a bloody tail, explain to me what you meant by bloody tail. I have to be able to ask a witness. Do you
I have
understand
cards
what this is?
on, yeah, I do, but I have cards on every dog we do, and every dog, everything is noted. Everything. That's what this catalog is.
Your Honor, can I show proof of
Can
her
I
false
see?
statement?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm discarding it anyway, but if you want to tell me why it's false, you can.
So her statement is completely false because she's claiming that since 2018 he had a condition or a tail problem or supposed bleeding, which aside from the pictures that are dated from 2017 to the present of February 2020, I have my witness who has seen my dogs. Her kids have played with my dogs. They've seen him in the front yard.
Now I'll hear you witness.
Hello, Your Honor.
Tell me your name.
My name is Tia Weinstein.
Ms. Weinstein, when was the last time that you saw Marley just prior to his having his tail amputated?
Probably in February 2020 when we just have the dogs come out and play with the kids in our cult.
Play between 2017 and February of 2020.
Numerous times. Too many times to count.
More than 10?
Yes, more than 10, 20, 30. It's literally a weekly thing.
Are you neighbors?
We are neighbors.
Have you ever seen injury to the dog's tail?
Never.
Have you ever seen Marley biting or scratching or biting his tail?
No, not at all.
And between 2016 and 2020, did the plaintiff ever complain prior to July 21st about Miss Layton's care of either one of her dogs?
No, never. She's never complained about any type of grooming.
Okay, very good. Anything else either one of you want to show me?
I would like to show you some pictures of fly bites on a dog that we just did this last week.
Was it this dog?
No, it was not, but it shows you what kind of damage the fly can do.
Your Honor.
Not interested.
Can I show you? I'm sorry.
Just a second. Just a minute. I'm not interested in pictures of another dog with fly bites. What else do you have?
I just have what I sent you showing that this dog has had trouble all along.
Okay, good. What else do you want to show me?
I would
Tell
like
me
to
first
show
what it is.
you the Yelp reviews of someone
Thank you, Ms.
grooming,
Weinstein.
medical expenses of what Marley went through, and the pictures of the stages of the tail in different conditions because of this accident.
Oh, well, I'd like to see pictures of the different conditions. That I would like to see. Because I already have the numbers.
This is the picture of July 21st and how it looked.
Okay.
This is a picture of how they left him patched up in different areas of his body, which tells me that they probably struggled
Don't
with
tell me
him.
what to tell. Don't listen to me. You want to volunteer a lot of information that you're not allowed to do. Just show me a picture. I draw my own conclusions about what the photograph represents.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So I had to lose income because of this 2-month healing process. I called in sick. I gave away shifts. I took unpaid time.
Okay. It was a terrible accident.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Brenda Cornejo says dog groomer Diane Layton severely injured her dog Marley during a grooming appointment.
Okay, what are you showing me now?
This is the condition of the tail. So these are stages of how of injury to the healing process that took about 2 months after being amputated.
Just a second. Where was the cut? Just show me where the cut was that you're alleging, because I assume
right here.
that you went outside and you saw the cut.
It's right here, ma'am.
Now, where
Your
on
Honor.
the tail was that cut?
On the tip, Your Honor.
Show me the other picture. Is that when he first came home?
July 21st is this picture. This is right after grooming. This is the date of injury.
Okay.
That's July
Got it.
21st.
So that's what it looked like?
Yes.
Okay, now I got it. All right, your vet bills are $3,110.
No.
That's what I have, $400.32 and $26.78. Are there any other bills?
Yes, Your Honor.
Show me the other vet bills.
So these are all of the bills from True Care for Pets surgery. So it's that one.
What is that for?
That's a bandage light wrap.
Okay, so just a minute. That's a plus 60. Next.
And I have another 98. Then I have another 90.
Wound repair. That's on 8/12.
Then I have another 32.50.
I already added that $32 in, madam.
Closed captioning sponsored by Want Justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, anything else?
Yes. So this is a whole packet here. So this is the main surgery.
I already have that.
Okay. And then there's this one.
Anything else? I have $33.58. Do you work, Ms. Corneo?
Yes, ma'am. I have 2 jobs. I'm a pediatric oncology nurse.
Just a minute. $6.78. I've got that already. Next. Come on.
Okay. Did you get this one?
Who took the dog to the vet?
I took him to the vet on all occasions. So I had to lose income because of this 2-month healing process. I called in sick. I gave away shifts. I took unpaid time.
Okay.
Etc.
It was a terrible accident. $33.58. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
The ski passes turned out to be fraudulent.
We are all in the same exact position.
You have to find the person that duped you if you were a dope that got duped.
Judge Judy.
Didn't strike one up for the groomers. We get blamed for a lot.
I think the decision was appropriate and fair.
I told them 3 separate times to get that dog to the vet, and they totally ignored it.
It's hurtful, but it's false. They're well taken care of.
How can I be sorry it happened? We didn't do it.
Take pictures before and after you drop off your dog. Inspect them thoroughly.
Groomers never win.
Mine is a happy dog, and I'm glad that he survived.
We believe that there was intentional fraud.
Listen to me. I don't care what you believe.
A first-time homebuyer has second thoughts.
Your family moved in and you started to have plumbing problems right away.
Right away. That's correct, Your Honor.
And thousands of dollars go down the drain.
This is not normal.
Did you have an inspection of the house before you purchased it?
I did, and they did not inspect the problem.
That would be your problem.
This is Judge Judy. 24-year-old Joshua Vasily is suing Nathaniel Combs for the fraudulent sale of a home.
Judge, this is case number 143 on the calendar in the matter of Vasily versus Combs. Parties have been sworn in, Your Honor. You may be seated.
Thank you, Bert. Home from the defendant.
That's correct.
And you, at this point, want to stay in the home, but claim that he sold you a home that was defective to the extent that he was required to notify you of the defect. And so at this point, you want him to pay some of, if not all of, the expenses to fix the plumbing in the house. That's what your case is about.
Yes.
Okay,
it's somewhere
so
around...
I have a few. I didn't ask you. No, listen to me. I didn't ask you a question.
Absolutely.
Mr. Combs, when did you purchase your home, the home that you sold to him?
October of 2017.
And who lived in the home?
My wife and 2 kids.
How old are the children?
Now they're 4 and 8.
When did you sell the plaintiff the house?
I believe we closed on June 30th of 2020.
And when did you put the house up for sale?
I don't remember the exact date. It was approximately 2 months prior to the date it sold.
Okay. Just 1 second. What's the address of the house, sir?
Tanglewood.
And what city?
Tehachapi, California.
What did you pay for the house, Mr. Vasily?
I believe we paid $289.
Not believe.
Purchase price to be $290,000. This is the final price that we ended up paying.
$280.
Yes, that's correct.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, it sold on 6/29, $220, according to Trustee Zillow.
$220,000, Your Honor, just to make sure.
Don't. What? 220.
Did you? I'm sorry, I did not hear. Was it 220,000 that Zillow reports?
No.
Okay.
I said
I apologize.
It closed on June 29th.
Got it. Understood.
And it was listed in May of 2020 for $295. So you bought it for $280. You bought it for $15,000 less than the ask.
Yes,
Is that
thankfully.
correct, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
I don't want any editorializing.
Okay.
You bought it for $15,000 less than the ask.
Yes.
So that was a negotiated price.
Yes. There's a reason why it was $15,000 less. And it pertains to the case. Can I explain, or is this not a good time?
This would not be a good time.
Understood.
Who did you buy the house from?
I believe it was
Mr.
Nathaniel.
Combs?
Oh.
No, shut up. Who did you buy the house from, Mr. Combs?
I don't know the family that owned it prior to us, ma'am.
Well, the reason I'm asking is that it was sold prior to you purchasing it in November of 2017, because you were the immediate owner prior to.
Yes, ma'am.
And the person that you bought it from only had the house for a few months, maybe 5 months. So they must have bought the house. No, actually, they listed it in February of 2016. Then they removed the listing. They finally sold it in April of 2016 because they upped the price and made a couple of bucks on it because they paid $217 and you bought it for $242. Did you move within the community?
No, we moved from out of town into Tehachapi.
No. When you sold the house to Mr. Vasily, did you move within the same community?
No, we moved approximately 100 miles away.
After you sold the house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, if you moved 100 miles away, your 8-year-old was in school.
The sale was during the summer. School was out.
The sale was done June 29th. The one who's 8, is that a boy?
My daughter. My daughter's 8. My son is 4.
So your daughter went to school. Now, did your daughter go to school at Tanglewood Drive?
Yes, she did.
That year?
Yes.
Until when?
I believe the school year ended early due to COVID. I do not remember the exact date.
Give me the month.
It was most like...
Think you moved, which is an event, in June.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not talking so far away. We're talking about this year, 2020. You look like a relatively young man, so that your memory is probably much better than mine. And you only had one school-age child.
Yes.
One may have gone to preschool, but you only have one school-age child. What I want to know is when that school-age child stopped going to school from 13.
It would have been May.
And that would be the same month that you put the house on the market for sale.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you say you moved 100 miles away. Was that for business, pleasure?
Family,
Was that
to be
safe?
closer to family.
And did you purchase another residence or rent?
I purchased.
And what was the close date of that purchase?
I believe it was...
Before or after you closed on this house?
It was after. I believe July 7th was the date we closed for our current home.
But you had seen that house before?
Yes.
On what date between June 29th of 2020 and July, when you moved into that house, where did you live?
My in-laws' house.
Were you at your in-laws' house prior to June 29th?
My family was. I was there cleaning up the house, getting ready to leave. My final day, I got a text message of my final day at the house.
Your final date. Then I'm going to find out when your family's final date was.
So that would have been June 28th was my final day in the house.
Okay. And when was your family, your wife and 2 children, when was their final day in the house?
That would be Friday, June 26th.
Did your wife and 2 children drive to your in-laws?
Yes, ma'am.
So the family has 2 cars.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
Yes.
So it is your testimony, and could be easily verified by both your in-laws and your wife, that your wife and 2 children lived in the house continuously from the time you purchased the house in 2017 until June 26th of 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
And that your 8-year-old daughter attended school there until the end of the school year in May of 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
All I can verify on the phone, so you wouldn't want to be embarrassed, right?
No, ma'am.
Your family moved in and you started to have plumbing problems right away.
Right away. That's correct, Your Honor. Can I explain the moving in process? It was a bit different. We had signed paperwork believing that the Combs were going to be living at the house 3 days after us getting the keys. After owning the house, the Combs were going to be living at the house for 3 days. We ended up, absolutely.
They asked for 3 days after the closing to get out.
That's correct, where they were going to pay rent.
So after either 29th or just a second. They asked for 3 days.
Yes.
Through their lawyer. I assume they had a lawyer?
Through their real estate agent, yes. Those were the terms that we understood.
Did they do that in writing or verbally by their agent?
It was in writing once during the start of the process, and then verbally going forward. We continued to keep talking about it until we got the keys.
I only want to see the written.
Understood.
Mr. Vasili, when you say you talked, did you talk to the defendant or did you talk to the real estate agent?
My real estate agent.
You can't tell me what that real estate agent said. That's hearsay. So then the only thing that I will look at is a writing, if you have a writing from the defendant or anyone acting on the defendant's behalf. That would be a real estate agent.
Ma'am?
What?
I do have
Just a second. I'm asking you, do you have that?
I believe that I do.
Something in writing?
Yes.
Well, then let's take a look at it.
We have our mediation, which has it, but let me see.
What mediation? Just a second.
Yeah, absolutely. We ended up going through mediation before going through the court process.
What mediation?
A company called RERM. That's what I know it as. It was a real estate. They were trying to get us so we didn't have to go to court, essentially, where we exchanged messages between one another. And in that I outlined
Just 1 second. Did that mediation have a negative result?
Yes, it did. The Combs did not reply during...
Don't just answer my question.
Okay.
Is that the reason why you filed this case?
Yes.
Because the mediation did not have... Okay.
We did not
get
help.
So now all I want to see is that help is not the question. So when you buy a house, you usually have a house inspected, and you're bound by that inspection, and anything that you find later, unless there is intentional fraud... We
believe that there was intentional fraud?
Listen to me.
Yes,
I
Your Honor.
don't care what you believe.
Okay.
I read your complaint.
Sure.
And your complaint alleges, just pay attention before you respond. Your case alleges that no person or family could have lived in that house in the condition that it was. That's what you allege in here. There is no way. Well, you see, I've just asked a series of questions of the defendant. And the series of questions were, and they can be probably verified by a quick call to his in-laws, who have absolutely known his wife came when their daughter came with their 2 children. And if his wife and 2 children arrived at her family's house on June 26th from their house, and your allegation is no person could have lived in the house because of the condition of the plumbing, that would not be true. Do you understand that?
I understand that.
I'm just asking you if you understand it.
I understand.
Fine.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you had an incomplete inspection report, you had the right to request a more complete inspection report. Do you understand?
No, I don't, because I had to pay more for that.
Well, then that's your problem.
Joshua Vasili claims Nathaniel Combs sold him a house without disclosing its plumbing problems.
Now, sometimes, you have certain problems in the house, little problems in the house, and what you're hoping for is that it passes an inspection unless they purposefully misrepresented it to you in a written document, and then you can produce witnesses. So
I believe that did happen.
If it did happen, I'm more than prepared to look at it, sir. But certainly the part of your
Under normal circumstances. No,
I don't
under
care
normal circumstances.
I don't care. No.
Okay.
When you have a family of 4 living in an 1,800 square foot house that uses the plumbing, and what you're saying is that the plumbing backed up, what I'm telling you is...
The cause of the plumbing... Your Honor, I'm so sorry. Your Honor, the cause of the issue was running a washer. Running a washer 3 days after owning the house created a load on the system, and I have a witness, which was my plumber, who is a professional, who will tell you what the cause of the issue was. After the issue began,
Listen, I'm prepared to listen to your witness. I'm telling you.
Yes.
Did you have an inspection of the house before you purchase it?
I did, and they did not inspect the problem.
Of course. Just a second.
Yes.
That would be your problem.
Okay.
That would be your problem.
But it said here, it's what the cause of the issue is beyond the. They didn't test the washer, which caused the issue. The washer and dryer was not tested beyond the scope of the inspection as per the standards and practice set forth by the California Real Estate Inspection Association. I think that under any circumstance, that if somebody was living at this property and did not want to deceive someone, they would say that they had issues when buying the house. We ran a washer, which put 230 gallons worth of water in our system, blew it back, and there was no way to remove that water until I think that if we waited and it finally left the system, or a professional removed the issue. What ended up happening was...
No, listen to me.
Absolutely.
Sir, your washer backed up the first time you used it 3 days after you moved in.
Yes, that's correct.
I mean, that's what you're telling me.
Not exactly.
And I'm telling you that's not his...
It is his problem. And my witness can verify that.
I'm more than happy to hear your witness.
Okay.
I heard you. I understand the problem. Now I have to see whether...
Well, I don't think that I did explain that...
Mr. Vasily.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Vasily.
Yes, Your Honor.
What I'm telling you is you had the right to inspect the property.
Which I did.
You got an... This is a statement. It's not a question.
Okay.
You had the right to inspect the property. If you had an incomplete inspection report, you had the right to request a more complete inspection report. Do you understand? If you...
No, I don't, because I had to pay more for that.
Well, then...
So, because I agreed to a house...
You just keep hurting yourself by, you see, volunteering information.
Well, not exactly, no. I agreed to the normal inspection.
Yes.
This is not normal.
Mr. Vasily, because you insist upon speaking, you just hurt your own case.
How so?
If I buy a house, I'm going to answer you, and you can be as wide-eyed as you like.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So it was my fault that I didn't purchase a deeper inspection? It was my fault that I didn't inspect the washer line?
Yes.
Okay. It was... Okay.
Yes, and yes.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Joshua Vasily is accusing Nathaniel Combs of defrauding him on the sale of a house.
Now, when I buy homes, I can have a cursory inspection, people looking in, turning on the faucet, turning on the lights.
How many homes, how many times have you bought in a house?
How many times have I bought a house? Probably 30.
Okay, this is my first time?
Probably. Judge, that's not his fault.
I understand that, but I also understand that I was going to be buying a house that could be lived in, that under normal circumstances.
You're not silly. You just keep talking. You keep saying you understand. You don't understand.
Okay.
This is your first house. I get that.
Okay.
Next time you buy a house, don't answer me. Just listen. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Just listen to what I'm saying to you. Maybe if you listen, you'll learn something. When you buy a house, you have the right to have an inspection of many things. And if you had the right to spend more money, which is what you told me, and get a more in-depth inspection, and you chose not to do that.
I believe that I did not have to.
That's your problem. Just a second. I don't care what you believe.
Okay.
I don't care. It's irrelevant to the law what you believe, Mr. Vasily.
Okay.
It's irrelevant what you believe. What I'm telling you is the law.
So it was my fault that I didn't purchase a deeper inspection when the inspection already had passed. It was my fault that I didn't inspect the washer line. It was my fault that I didn't inspect where the...
Yes.
Okay. It was... Okay.
Yes, and yes.
Understood.
It's your fault. It's your fault. When you have a car and you choose not an insurance,
but
and you have an accident, you've... ears, mouth.
Sure, absolutely.
Ears, mouth. Absolutely and understood. Not only absolutely, but absolutely and understood.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, now, what I'm telling you, sir, is I feel sorry for you that you and your family had a problem when you moved into the house, when it was your first house, and you had to spend more money to have it fixed.
$6,500.
Buying a house, that's too bad. What I'm telling you is I feel sorry for you that you have to spend that extra money when the washing machine backed up. I feel sorry for you, but ears, mouth. You have the right to have an inspection. If you could establish to me that, because one of the things you said was it was a flagrant fraud because there was no family that could have lived in that house
under normal conditions without running the washer.
Okay, your case is dismissed. We're done here. It's impossible to deal with him. You fixed the...
Your Honor, can I understand what I did wrong?
I just tried to tell you, but you refused to listen.
I don't understand.
And if you refuse to listen, let me tell you what. Then we'll provide you with a tape when you go outside so you can listen to what I said as many times as you like. Right now, or we're done. And what part of we're done don't we understand?
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy, after a death in the family, a tug of war.
Your mother signed a document that you should have the car. What your sister did was pull a fast one.
Next Judge Judy.
I think that I need to be heard a little bit more.
I thought it was phenomenal.
A general inspection didn't cover the problems that we ended up having.
They did do a full inspection, and in the inspection it says the washer drain was acceptable.
Just terrible. It was horrible. The sewage going into the hallway and the master bedroom.
According to the documentation they provided, a toilet backed up.
I have to pay extra for home inspections.
Welcome to home ownership.
During this short engagement...
Let me stop you for a minute.
Over a missing firearm.
She said the shotgun is with my son who lives in Oklahoma City.
Or did you lie to him?
I lied to him.
Where is it?
I sold it.
And dishonesty will always misfire.
I think that you're a fibber.
That would be a fair assessment.
Don't cross your arms. There's only one attitude here.
This is Judge Judy. Leslie Orm is suing his ex-fiancée, Lori Mosley, for an unpaid loan and for the value of a shotgun.
Judges, case number 136 on the calendar in the matter of Orm versus Mosley. Parties have been sworn in.
Mr. Orm, the defendant is your former fiancé.
That is correct.
You were engaged from when to when?
July 4th of 2018 to approximately the third week of November 2018.
So we're talking, sir, about 2 years ago for about 4 months.
Yes.
And the thrust of your lawsuit is, during that 4-month period, 2 years ago, you made a loan to the defendant, or actually 2 loans, one for a trip that you were supposed to take, which she decided she didn't want to take, a cruise, and that was for $300 for the deposit that she put down on that.
That is correct.
And then, yeah, I know. Don't get so excited. So you may live without it for a little longer. And the other $800, Mr. Orm, is for money that you claim that you loaned to her for 2 airline tickets for her son and daughter-in-law to join you, the 2 of you, on a trip to Florida that the 2 of you decided to take in lieu of the cruise that was canceled and on which you lost the $300 deposit. So far, that's part of your lawsuit. Am I right?
Yes.
I just don't want the folks out there in the television world to get all excited. This is not the Scopes trial, and it is certainly not the trial of the century. The next part of your lawsuit, Mr. Orm, is that 2 years ago, during this very short engagement that you had...
Well, let me stop you for a minute.
Somehow... No, don't stop me ever. And during this short engagement that you had, somehow the defendant came into physical possession of a shotgun that belongs to you, and you want it back. You've managed to somehow live without it for the last 2 years, and part of what I'm going to ask you is what makes you miss it so much now. So I have a couple of questions. Since I pretty much outlined the lawsuit, and you wanted to comment on something that you thought that you wanted to comment on?
You know, to be honest, I lost my train of thought on that one here.
Right, that happens to me.
Right. to your question about...
So the answer is...
To your...
Just a second.
Okay.
To my question about... What was my question? I said, what was it that you wanted to disagree with was my question. And if you said nothing,
right,
then
correct.
I'm going to continue my questioning of you. Okay. So since November of 2018, just for my own information, have you been in the military?
No.
Have you been in the United States or traveling outside the United States?
I've been in the States.
Have you been, since November of 2018, incarcerated?
No.
So now my question to you is, why, Mr. Orm, during a planet-wide pandemic, 2 years later, all of a sudden you're missing the shotgun and this $1,100 or so that you claim she borrowed from you 2 years ago?
That's a good question. So what happened is that she had shared with me that she was going to be moving to Washington State for one reason or another. So at this point in time, I had asked, well, since you're going to be moving, what about getting this various stuff back? And it was in Oklahoma City. And I was like, okay, well, what can you do to get that back?
Mr. Orm, on what date did you have that conversation with her? And if you don't remember the exact date, give me the month and year that you had that conversation
just recently,
with her.
right here.
Okay.
Those are the text messages.
Were you still in a relationship with her?
No.
After November of 2018?
No.
How did you find out that she was moving?
We would text and talk back and forth just on a, I don't know, meager basis, I guess, for lack of a better term. And that's when she had shared with me that she was moving out of her current residence due to she's being forcibly asked to move. So at that point in time, I figured, okay, now's a good time, because I didn't know she was going to be moving. I figured as long as my property and stuff is there, we're fine. But then when she said she's going to move...
property, you're talking about your shotgun. That's the only property that's part of this.
Yes.
That's the only property that's part of this.
Well, I could, I do have a ring that I could go, but, that is neither here nor there,
You're talking about an engagement ring.
Yeah, I could go. That's kind of a mute issue. I could go after that, but I'm not. I'm not looking to, be petty
Mr.
here or
Orm,
anything like that.
Mr. Orm, that you would get back.
Okay.
Mr. Orm, the engagement ring, if you sued for it, you would get back.
Okay.
Because that's the law.
Right.
An engagement is a contract to marry. If the marriage doesn't take place, irrespective of who calls off the wedding, you're entitled to the engagement ring back. But you didn't sue for that. That you would have actually gotten back. And this could have been a short case. I could have moved on to case number 2. This is a little more complicated. Okay, now I'm going to see the text messages, and you're talking about text messages from November of this year.
Yes.
About the shotgun. That's what I want to see. You say, how am I going to get my shotgun back from you before you leave? She says, well, I have to get it from Brandon. I assume that's your son. He took it to clean up the rust and stuff on the barrel. Okay. How would it have rusted unless you had said it had rust on it when you left it here? Oh, okay. Is there anything else on there?
No, that was...
That was it. Okay.
Right.
Miss Mosley, You have to pay careful attention. Your answer to him suggests that you left it there. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Left, just pay careful attention.
Okay.
I read the text. I don't know whether you did. He said, how am I going to get my shotgun back? You said, my son Brandon took it because it had rust. Okay. And how am I supposed to get, because that was the question. You responded to him, it had rust when you left it here. You didn't say it had rust when you gave it to me. You said it had rust when you left it here. You were responding to him. So the shotgun is with your son Brandon in Oklahoma City?
No, I actually...
Is that right?
No.
Where is it?
I sold it.
You sold it to whom?
I sold it...
Listen to me. I'm not liking, you see, the answers so far that you're giving me. I'm not liking them. Do you understand?
Yes.
And you don't want... You have a son, a daughter-in-law, you have grandchildren?
Yes.
You don't want to be made foolish. The shotgun, according to what you said to him, was with your son Brandon.
Yes.
Brandon, I assume, lives in Oklahoma City.
He does.
And you do not live in Oklahoma City.
No, I don't.
So if what you just started to say to me was, I sold it, that means that either you sold it or you directed Brandon to sell it, or else Brandon got it back to you somehow by mail, unlikely. Where? In Los Angeles, in California, in Washington? Where do you live?
Currently, I live in Washington.
Okay, so now I gave you all those options. Where was it sold? In Oklahoma City or in Washington?
Oklahoma City.
Or did you lie to him?
I lied to him.
That you gave it to Brandon?
Yes.
You lied to him?
Yes.
That you gave it to Brandon?
Yes.
Well, now you just said to me you sold it in Oklahoma City. Well, that would be where your son lives. So explain to me how you sold it in Oklahoma City.
Sorry, Your Honor. I did not sell it in Oklahoma City. I sold it in Utah when I was still living there.
Okay, just a second. Just a second. Just a second. So then you just lied to both of us.
Well, I lied to him because...
I just want to know, you lied...
Yes,
right, you lied to me, too. You said you lied to both of us. You lied to him and you lied to me.
Yes.
Right? Okay. You placed a value, sir, of $500 on the shotgun. Is that right?
Correct.
Because the alleged loans you made, which I'll get to in a moment, were $1,100. So you placed a $500 value on the shotgun. You're going to get it, Mr. Orm, because I don't like people who lie, and I really don't know what she did with the shotgun. But clearly, based upon the text, she had no right to do anything. I say that in an unflattering way.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't believe anything that you say to me. I think that you're a fibber, to him and to me.
That would be a fair assessment.
Just a second. Don't cross your arms. There's only one attitude here.
And later today...
The fact that your sister says my sister doesn't have any money, so you can't get blood from a turnip, doesn't mean you're not responsible for her car being totaled.
Leslie Orm says ex-fiancée Lori Mosley owes for a loan and for selling his shotgun without his permission.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to get to is the money that you gave her. And $300 was for a cruise that you were supposed to take together.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
And from what I gathered from your statements, you were going to pay for the cruise just as you did pay for the trip to Florida. You were generous.
Correct.
You were going to...
It was supposed to be our honeymoon.
Correct. I didn't ask you anything. I don't believe anything that you say to me. I think that you're a fibber, to him and to me.
That would be a fair assessment.
Just a second. So you're not going to get the $300 back, Mr. Orm, because that's not a loan. Now, the other part of it was $800 to buy plane tickets for her son and daughter-in-law on this trip to Florida. We went to Florida as a family. So now I'm going to go back to the very basic question that I asked you, sir, which is, why wait 2 years? Or show me any text between March or April of 2019 and November of 2020 or October of 2020 when you asked her back for the money for the plane tickets.
I don't have that text. I do have the
no. I don't. Listen to me. Listen to me. I want what I want. I've crossed out the cruise. The cruise, you're not getting back. You were supposed to go there. You were going to pay for the cruise. The $300 was a deposit. You lost it. That she changed her mind is of very little value to me. No, don't tell me to hold on. Don't tell me to hold on. I asked you a question. My question is this. As I said to you, this is not a difficult case, sir. You're entitled to the money for your shotgun because I don't know where it is. I don't think you're going to get it back from her. So I'm giving you the full value of what you asked for the shotgun, which is $500. You're not getting the $300 for the cruise. Email or demand for the $800 that for the 2 plane tickets for her son and daughter-in-law. You're not getting that. So all you have to do is tell me.
I don't have that.
Well, then you waited too long. Since you weren't in jail, since you weren't in the military, since you weren't incapacitated, since you had every ability to sue her for the money from the time that you allegedly loaned her the money until today, I cannot find that waiting until there is a worldwide pandemic to sue her for something that happened years ago is legitimate.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today.
When did it start
raining? It was raining the whole night, like all day.
So what did you go out for? Whole night, whole day, raining hard. What'd you go out for with your 2 children,
me and her,
8 and 4? Listen,
met.
if it's raining that hard that you can't see and you're going 40 miles an hour, stay home.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Leslie Orm says ex-fiancée Lori Mosley owes for a loan and for selling his shotgun without his permission.
Okay, it happened when you were engaged to be married. You wanted to go away as a family. You wanted to impress her family. You were acting as a big sport. You're not getting the money back because it wasn't a loan. Because you have proof that you have where you say to her and she acknowledges, just pay attention. Okay. Where you say to her and she says to you, I acknowledge this is a loan. In the last year. And if you don't have any of that, sir.
I don't have that.
Then, okay, judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. Thank you very much. We're finished.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Well, I guess it's fair that, he gets money for his shotgun because I did sell that.
She was scared to death, so I said, hey, next time I come up, I'll bring you my shotgun to protect yourself.
He left it at my house for 2 years. Didn't want it, said, hey, you need that to protect yourself.
There was no honeymoon. Then I should have got my money back.
Nope, called it off. I found out what kind of control freak he was and said, no way.
God, stay away from women.
It's time to go separate ways.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Davis versus Davis. Step forward.
23-year-old Kenesha Davis is suing her sister, Shamika Davis, for totaling her car and then fleeing the scene. Shamika is countersuing for damages she claims Kenesha caused to the car.
Ms. Davis, this is your sister. She borrowed your car. She had an accident, according to you, and your sister doesn't deny the fact that she totaled your car, and you want her to compensate you. Your sister says, well, she did total the car, but then you knew she didn't have any money, so whenever you wanted it, and so that you could save up to buy a new one. And then she has a ridiculous counterclaim that while you were using her car, you left it messy, which is going to be dismissed. I think I'll do that now, so save myself trouble. Now, tell me about when you borrowed your sister's car.
Me and my sister switched cars in October.
Why?
We were both moving at the same time, and I have a truck, so she was using my truck to move. We had each other's car for about 2 weeks before the accident.
And what happened with her car?
Well, me and her met up on Halloween. We took the kids trick-or-treating.
She and I met on Halloween.
She and I met up together to go trick-or-treating with the kids. She went her way with my truck, and I had her car. It was raining really bad that day. I went on the freeway to go home. I was going around a dead man's curb. This car tried to cut in front of me because I was going too slow because it was raining. I had a hit-and-run accident with her car.
Show me the police paperwork. Okay, so you had the accident. Were the police called?
Yeah, the police were called.
Fine. What kind of insurance did you have on your car?
I had liability insurance. It covers any car that Yeah.
Okay. When did you purchase this car?
I bought it February 2013.
And this accident was when?
The day of Halloween, October 31st, 2013.
And how much did you pay for the car?
I paid $2,500 for the car originally.
And it's a 2003...
Dodge Stratus.
Would you look that up for me, please? 2003 Dodge Stratus.
Got it.
Car was totaled?
Mm-hmm.
Sedan?
4-door.
2100.
Okay. Anything else you want to tell me?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Go ahead.
Well, basically, I don't think I owe her a dime because we had a verbal agreement. She knew I couldn't afford to buy her another car at the time. So she asked me, can she borrow my car until she can get, money for another car, which I did. She had my car for almost a month. She was dropping me off everywhere. And she purchased another car. She had got a Grand Prix. And then within weeks, I guess it got repoed, and now she's trying to sue me for the car. Your Honor, that's not true.
Wait. The fact that your sister says my sister doesn't have any money, so you can't get blood from a turnip, doesn't mean because I don't have anybody's statement here except yours that you were hit by another car. As far as I know, you were going too fast and you spun out.
It was raining really bad that night. I was going slow. You're supposed to go 40 miles an hour.
When did it start
raining? It was raining the whole night, all day.
So what did you go out for? Whole night, whole day, raining hard. What'd you go out for with your two children, 8 and 4? Listen, if it's raining that hard that you can't see and you're going 40 miles an hour, stay home with your two children, age 8 and 4, who could have been killed in the car if you say it was that dangerous. And if it wasn't that dangerous, somebody caused the accident. One thing I know for sure, it was not her. She's suing you for less than what she paid for the car. She's suing you for $1,500. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,500. Your nonsense counterclaim is dismissed, as I said before.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, the virus held up her security deposit.
You want me to go to a walkthrough and infect somebody with COVID?
Send your mother. Send a friend. You're full of baloney.
Next Judge Judy.
I'm just upset that she didn't even give me a chance to tell her about the damages that were done to my car while she had it. I'm happy. I think it's completely off the alignment, and I had to get the brakes redone. Honestly, it was a little messy. I didn't really mess up the door. It was already like that when I got it. There was nothing wrong with her Jeep that I did. We don't talk at all anymore. We don't talk, but, that's really it. Everything else is fine. Hope we can be cool. Be sisters like we're supposed to be. But she gives me a hug. Wow.
I was in jail.
You were in jail for what?
For the assault.
There was 2 assaults.
It was a bad idea to bring back her ex.
They were telling me to get off the property.
Did you pay any rent?
No, I wasn't asked to pay any rent.
Ultimately, you were asked to leave.
Then he left her bloodied.
How did she cut her arm, Mr. Simple? How did she cut her arm?
Daniel pushed me.
This is Judge Judy. Cherie Zarate is suing her ex-boyfriend, Daniel Seipel, for rent and utilities, property damage, and an assault.
Judge's case number 96 on the calendar in the matter of Zarate versus Seipel. Parties have been sworn in.
Thank you. Miss Zarate, you and the for a decade, and there was a time, according to you, that he was your boyfriend.
Yes, for sure.
When was he your boyfriend?
2007 to 2008.
Are you currently married?
No.
Who do you live with?
I live with myself, and I have a house tenant at the house that I'm at.
Is that your house?
Yes.
When did the defendant become incarcerated? In what year?
It was May of 2019 to August of 2019.
And after you were no longer involved with him romantically, did you maintain a friendship with him?
Yes.
Just friends or more than friends?
Just friends.
According to you, when the defendant was released from jail, you and your brother owned a house.
Yes.
That another brother had lived in who recently passed away.
Yes.
And you and your brother, or you, made an agreement with the defendant that he could live in the house and pay either $400 a month or rehab the house because the house needed a lot of work because the house was in bad condition.
Right.
That's what she says. Just a second. And your lawsuit asks for $5,000 because you say he did not do anything in the house.
Right.
He did not do it.
Right.
And he assaulted you.
Yes.
That's what your case is about.
Yes.
Okay. Have I pretty well rounded out what your case is about?
Yes.
Yes. Now, let's deal with the assault first, sir.
Okay.
You were living in the house for a while, over a year.
Yes. Yes.
You were living in the house for over a year.
Yes.
And you paid no rent.
I was not, that wasn't the agreement.
Just a second. Just answer my questions. Did you pay any rent?
No, I wasn't asked to pay any rent.
Just a minute. There has to be a reason, sir, that you weren't asked to pay any rent. I'm asking you these questions because I have an objective. So you lived in the house for a year. Ultimately, you were asked to leave.
Yes.
And there was an altercation involving the plaintiff. We're dealing with just the assault now.
Yes.
Yes. And the plaintiff, in addition to having the police there, filed for a protective order against you.
Yes.
And that case went before a judge.
Correct.
And you were present.
Yes. Went to court.
Did you have a trial?
Yes.
Did you testify?
Well,
he said yes or no. Did you testify?
No.
Did you consent to her having an order of protection?
I'm not aware of that. No.
Do you know whether she got an order of protection?
I was told, but I was never served.
What?
For the assault.
Right. Do you have a copy of the protective order?
Yes.
May I see it, please? Okay, so the proceeding was not for an assault, it was for harassment. Is that right?
It was for both.
I don't see anything about an assault there.
Okay, there was 2 assaults. The first one was on August 29th. The second one was on November 11th. And when they arrested him the second time, the police officer told me to go file for another restraining order, limiting him more.
No, just a second. The assault that you refer to in your complaint
was August 29th.
Was on August 29th.
Right.
That's it. Do you have photographs of your injuries as a result of that?
Yes.
I'd like to see them. How did she cut her arm, Mr. Simple?
They were coming at me, her and the Beverly girl, and I pushed them in an open hand, and she fell against a stereo.
Okay. How did you cut your hand?
Daniel pushed me.
With him on that day?
Beverly and I confronted him about not paying anything since April and having his stuff all over my property. And I got a letter from code enforcement saying that they were going to fine me $500 a day if he didn't clean up the stuff from my yard. And
because he brought a whole bunch of stuff from your yard. Yes. Would you show me a photograph of your yard?
Oh, yes.
May I see it, please?
And there's another.
Who's mobile?
I'm sorry. That's the motorhome I stay in because the house needed to.
So you stay in the mobile home on the property?
Yes.
Well, whose bicycle is that?
All that stuff is Daniel's. Everything in the yard.
What about the lumber?
That's Daniel's. All of that is Daniel's. Everything.
You mean he got out of... Is that all your stuff?
That's material that I brought there to work on the house. That is my bicycle.
Well,
yes.
The lumber. I mean, he didn't get out of jail and they didn't give him lumber. They give you $1 to go on a bus. They don't give you stacks of lumber. So evidently he bought that, but he didn't use it inside the house.
Right.
You live in the trailer behind with a friend.
No,
is that right?
Myself. I lived in by myself.
You lived there by yourself?
Yes, in the motorhome, yes.
Yeah. When Daniel was in the house during that year that he was there and you were living in the motorhome, he was living in the house?
Yeah.
No?
Yes, we did.
Did you ever have dinner together?
Yes.
Did you ever have more than dinner?
No. Conversation? No.
Just conversation?
Conversation. I bought materials for the house to fix it up.
Yeah, well, it looks awful, and you wouldn't be living in a motorhome if you could live in the house. Okay. You pushed her, sir, and another judge, another person who has the same quantum of proof that I wouldn't have to if I heard this case, found that she was entitled to a protective order. And you're not allowed to put your hands on somebody. You're not allowed to do that.
I felt that I was
She has to be compensated then. Yeah. Now, do you drink?
On occasion.
Sometimes?
On occasion, sometimes, yes.
On occasion?
Yes.
More often than not?
No.
Okay. Now, how long did you live in the house without paying rent?
It was a year. I knew nothing about paying any rent.
When she told you to move out because you weren't doing your end of the bargain. How long did you stay in the house?
I
after
left.
She told you to move out.
I left. I was arrested the next day. When they told me to move out, that's
Well,
when
you
they
were
came
arrested
at me and I
when
pushed
you
them
were-
away.
That's August,
They
and then
were
you moved
telling
out.
me to get off the property.
Just a second. Just a second. They told you in August.
Mhm.
Did you move out in August?
Yeah,
Did you move out in August? Did you ever come back?
occasionally. I would come back and try to get some of my stuff. I had a stay-away order, so I had that I bought for the house, the materials, supplies to fix the water leak in the house. It's still there.
Well, a lot of that stuff is just junk.
No, this is brand new stuff. Still
That's in the
box.
backyard. No, a
No,
lot
that's
of the
not.
stuff that she just showed me was junk. Well, the bicycles look like junk.
Okay, that's.
I don't know whose they
That
belong
was
to.
something that was brought in there before I started getting the water leak fixed in the house.
Okay.
Damages, she said, was a drywall in the house, but it had a water leak and I had to fix. I bought the material to repair that.
Ms. Cerati, let me explain something to you. I don't believe that he owes you any rent. Somebody that you knew, you made a ridiculous arrangement with him, but he does owe you for this assault. Other than this cut on your arm, because I don't think he has a right to put his hands on you when you tell him to leave. Other than this cut, did you receive any medical treatment for your injury?
No.
Okay. Who is living in the house now?
No one right now.
And you're not living in the trailer either?
No, I'm in the motorhome. I'm still in the motorhome.
You're in the motorhome?
Yes, because the house still needs fixed.
And where is your brother? Of course. Where is your brother?
My brother lives in L.A. right now, but he's coming out in a few months to live at the house.
Well, somebody better fix it up.
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
You opened your car door. You look. Opened the car door. Didn't even look.
Cherie Zarate says ex-boyfriend Daniel Seipel owes for rent and utilities, property damage, and for injuries she suffered during an assault.
All right, I'm awarding you $1,500 for the injury that you sustained. He doesn't have the right to put his hands on you. Sir, where are you living now?
Where am I living? At my friend's house. My friend's house.
Do you pay rent?
No.
Good for you. Okay, we're done. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
They were coming at me telling me to get off the property, that I owed them money.
When he pushed my friend Beverly and myself,
That wasn't the agreement. I was never supposed to pay any rent.
he was just bringing junk and dumping it in my yard.
Well, she didn't want to hear anything that I'd bought, materials to fix the problem in the house.
I've been slowly fixing it myself.
I just got the materials to work and they said, get out.
I think he's a hoarder. He just collects things.
It was aggressive, yes.
Just harassment, and I didn't want to have to be calling the police every other day.
Not to do it again.
I'm just glad that he's finally out of my life.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Koska versus Zarate. Step forward.
Suing fellow motorist, 22-year-old Sabrina Zarate, for damage to her car caused by an accident in a university parking lot.
Oh, my goodness. That is a familiar scenario. Okay. P, that would be you. It's pulling into a spot. When were you pulling into the parking spot?
It was on February 14th at 7:45 a.m.
Where were you going?
Cal Poly Pomona.
To school? And you?
School. Same school.
Okay. So you're pulling into the spot, and?
As I was pulling in, I was halfway into the parking spot when she swung her door open and hit my front bumper. As I got out of the car, she got out of the car and indicated she was sorry she didn't see me. Therefore, I thought she knew she was guilty because that's a guilty comment. So then I asked for her insurance information. She said she didn't find herself at fault and would like to discuss it with her father. She walked away from the scene. As I called the police, I texted her saying I called the cops.
Okay, then she came out. Anyway, that's what it is. And she says, Miss Sarita, you say, go ahead.
So, what her statement is actually incorrect, Your Honor.
No,
my door
just
was
tell
already
me. I'm
open.
listening to your story.
Okay, so my door was actually already ajar. It was partially open.
Show me how ajar with your hands.
So this is my vehicle. I was about this open in my parking spot still, and obviously in a hurry. And she hits my car. She impacted it. So we get out of the car, and I've never been in such a situation. So I ask, okay, what should we do? She's like, just give me your information.
Okay. I don't care about the information back and forth. So you say that your door was partially ajar. I'd like to see the damage to your car.
Okay.
Was there any damage to your car?
No. The door's steel. The bumper's plastic, so.
Well, if she were going fast And what would have happened is, as you indicate,
Obviously going too fast.
your door would have come off if she hit your car door.
It's kind of hard to see since the car is black, but it was fine.
Okay, so I have a couple of questions now. If you're pulling into a parking space and you're being vigilant about what's around you.
Correct.
And you see the defendant's car.
Correct.
Did you see her in the car?
I did see her in the driver's side.
If you saw her in the car, you knew she was getting either in or out, right?
Right.
So you had a 50-50 shot whether she was getting in her car or out of the car.
No, that's incorrect because
Sure
since
it is.
we're at school,
She couldn't have been going up or down.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Were you covered at the time for liability?
I didn't realize, but it was lapsed.
So the answer is you didn't have insurance.
Correct. It was lapsed.
You think you're going to get in the last word? If you'd had lapsed insurance, it means you didn't have insurance.
Correct.
Don't say it was lapsed again.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Brittany Koska says fellow motorist Sabrina Zarate opened her car door just as she was pulling into a parking space next to her. She is suing for the cost to fix her vehicle.
Now, what you're supposed to do is, when I'm driving and I see a passenger, you know, I'm driving down a traffic lane and I see somebody in a car, I'm saying to myself, are they going to get out of that car? So I'm going to slow down and be really vigilant until I pass them to see what they're doing. That's just common sense. Now, she was almost in that spot.
She actually wasn't, Your Honor.
Sure she was. She had to have been. You didn't say that that's not how the accident happened. You're not saying that that's not what...
My door was already open, Your Honor, and she pulled in.
Listen to me.
And she hit my parked car.
No. No, you keep... That when you got out of the car, you weren't being vigilant enough.
I don't have eyes behind my head.
Oh, well, just a second. Well, you're supposed to. You're supposed to be able to look out.
Your Honor, she was obviously in a hurry because she wouldn't have hit my car. Yeah. She didn't even want to exchange information because she was in such a hurry.
I think that you both weren't being terribly careful. Do you have insurance?
Yes, I do.
Were you covered at the time for liability?
I didn't realize, but Your Honor, it was lapsed.
So the answer is you didn't have insurance.
Correct. However, it wasn't my fault, so...
Just the answer is you didn't have insurance.
Correct. It was lapsed.
You think you're going to get in the last word? If you'd had lapsed insurance, it means you didn't have insurance.
Correct.
Don't say it was lapsed again. You didn't have it. I didn't say you never had it. You didn't have insurance.
Correct.
Do you have insurance?
Yes.
You have liability insurance.
Yes.
I don't even think she's on the insurance because her name's not on the insurance card.
Name doesn't have to be on the insurance card.
Just want to make sure.
The car has to have insurance.
Correct.
Your car had no insurance. However, I do think that you were partially responsible for this accident. I think that you were probably not vigilant enough and not careful enough. So was she, because she got out of the car, and whether she kicked the car, what kind of partially open? When you usually partially open a door, it's because you're doing something. If you're getting out of a car door,
I was reaching over to get my belongings.
Oh, just a second. Hold on a second. So you were reaching over.
My door was already open.
You were reaching over. No, I don't believe. If she hit your car that way, it would have taken your door off.
It wasn't all the way open. She hit the edge of it.
You're sealing it for yourself. You opened the door partially to let some air in the car. You turned off the car.
It was already off. Then I opened my door.
Oh, it's getting... You don't realize where you're going.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I want you to go step by step with me. You turned your car off.
I reached over to get my belongings. My door was already open.
No. I don't want you to say my door was already open. It didn't open by itself.
I turned my car off. I opened my door.
Slowly.
Closed captioning sponsored by... Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, so you turned your car off. I want you to go step by step with me. You turned your car off.
Turned my car off. I took my keys out of the ignition. I reached over to get my belongings. My door was already open.
No. I don't want you to say my door. You turned the car off.
Correct.
Step by step. You turned the car off.
Right. I set my keys down.
You set your keys down where?
On top of my purse, in my purse.
On top of your purse, which was where? On top of your purse, which was where?
On the passenger side.
Where your books were and your pocketbook, right?
Correct.
And then, slowly, you took the key out of the ignition, you put it on top of your purse, you reached over to the side to get your stuff. And
I opened my door. I set my keys down in my purse, on top of my purse. I opened my door, and then I leaned down to get my books, and that's when she impacted my car.
No, didn't happen that way at all.
Okay.
No way. No way. I actually believe you. She's not telling me the truth. You have an estimate to fix your car?
I do.
That's not what happened.
Either way, she hit a parked car.
No. You opened your car door. You weren't looking where you were going. Got your things, took the keys out of the ignition. I believe that. Bent down to pick up your stuff. Believe that. Didn't even look. Didn't even look. Opened the car door. Didn't even look. That's what you did. Judgment.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, the landlord who never left.
You slept in the laundry room next door to his apartment. That's ridiculous. You're a scammer and a fraudster.
Next Judge Judy.
She had her sunglasses on, 7 a.m. in the morning.
Usually when it's sunny, I wear my sunglasses, so I don't know if that really causes somebody to be distracted or not. I could see if I didn't have my sunglasses on, maybe that would distract me.
She obviously was going really fast. She hit my car. Obviously, her car was damaged.
No, I was not. I'm pretty sure if I was, her door would be off.
She was going so fast, she was in a hurry. Of course, she wasn't paying attention, and she hit my parked car.
She came out of the car, she swung her door open, I hit it, and she said she was sorry because she knew it was her fault.
My door didn't come off. She hit the corner of it, so she just impacted her car.
Fortunately, she didn't have insurance, so it's illegal to drive without insurance, so I won the case.
It's simple that she hit my car, and I can't believe she's fighting it.
Have insurance.
What were you doing driving it without insurance?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really know.
Unsafe and
I just swerved left, right, you know, I'm holding the wheel. I hit the mailboxes. I swerved to the left again.
And an unseen victim is mourned.
Your car hit her dog and killed her dog.
This is Judge Judy. 18-year-old Kevin Rodriguez is suing Lacey Migliori for damages to his car after he hit her unleashed dog.
Judge, this is case number 150 on the calendar in the matter of Rodriguez versus Migliori. Parties have been sworn in. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Thanks, Bird. Mr. Rodriguez, it is your claim that the defendant's dog, while out of her control, caused an accident with your car, which damaged your car. Your car hit the defendant's dog and killed the defendant's dog. But then it is your claim that after that impact, you lost control of the car, causing damage to the car because you crashed into something else. The defendant says that while she did not see this incident, is that correct?
That's correct.
That the dog was on their fenced property when this incident happened. You lost control of your car. You crashed through the fence in the house where the dog was. I don't know if it's your house or not, but it was the dog was in a fenced, claiming
yes
that the dog was killed on property. Is it your property or someone else's?
We were displaced from the creek fire, and we were staying with my Nana at my Nana's house.
Okay. Is that your grandmother?
Yes.
So it as ostensibly, for all intents and purposes, at her house. She says that the dog was killed on the property where she was staying, and it was fenced property, and your car broke through the fence and killed her dog. That's your statement, although you didn't see the incident happen.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. This incident happened on what date, Mr. Rodriguez?
On September 20th, 2020.
What time?
It was around 6 p.m.
6 p.m., and you live in California?
Yes.
So is it dusk at that time?
Yeah, I could say it was dusk.
Tell me what happened, sir.
Okay, so on September 20th, I was driving to my friend's house.
Look at me. Don't look at...
Don't look at none of this?
Don't look at your papers.
Okay.
I want you to look at me and tell me what happened so I could look in your eyes.
Okay. So on September 20th, 2020, I was going to a friend's house. I live in Clovis, so that's about 18 minutes away from my friend's house. So there's a street on Sanger that you have to go on. It's called Academy.
Could you look at me?
Yeah. I was going right on Shields to go to my friend's house. I turn right on Shields. I see a school pass by. So I think, oh, in my head, go a little faster, after we pass the school.
There's a school.
There's a...
Look at me. Don't look down. Look up. You saw a school.
Yes.
Okay. And this was 6 o'clock, so did you just say you decided to go faster?
Well, because I passed the school, so the speed limit it's the regular speed limit, right? After you pass the school.
Okay, so you had slowed down?
Yeah, when it was at the school, I slowed down because I saw the 25, right, speed limit. I passed by, I saw that it was 55. I speeded up.
Look at me. Don't look down.
Sorry, I'm
sorry.
Look at me. I speeded up, and then I was passing a couple houses, and then right at when I got to the defendant's house, out of nowhere, I was just driving, I was 55 miles per hour. I was driving normally, right? Out of nowhere, I heard a big bang. Bang, and then I just swerve. Go left, right, I'm holding the wheel, trying to,
I got it.
Try to gain control, And I just keep swerving, and then I finally get to the mailboxes. I pass the street that was right here, and then there's the mailboxes at a different person's house, and I try to control again, and then at some point I just braked, and I was able to go to the side of the road, and I saw a few people come back behind me. There was a truck with 2 gentlemen. They told me that I hit something big.
Don't tell me what they told you.
Okay.
Did you get out of the car?
Yes.
Did you get out of the car?
I
assume you got out of the car.
After the incident, I got out the car, and I saw
and
the defendant.
Could you, just a second. So what you're saying is that the dog hit the side of your car, or did you run over the dog?
So it hit the right side of the car because on the pictures, you could actually see where the impact was. So
I'd like to see the picture,
okay.
Please.
It's right here. Right here, you could see. Right here was the impact.
Okay. This is a residential area, yes. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Do you have a photograph of where it says in this residential area it's a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit?
I do not, but on the report it says I was going on the speed limit 55.
Oh,
yeah.
So the report says it's a 55 speed limit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Would you like to see that?
I would. Thank you. Okay, could you go to summary, please? I'd like to see the summary. Thank you. Okay, is there any other part of that report?
Yes, there is one more page.
I'd like to see it. Did you speak to the police that day, Miss Migliori?
I did. He wasn't very nice.
I didn't ask you. Just a second. Just answer my question. Did you speak to the police? The answer is yes.
Yes.
When you spoke to the police, was the dog's body still in the road?
No, the dog's body was never in the road. The dog's body was wrapped around a pole and in the barbed wire fence.
Just a second. The dog's body, show me so that I understand where you say the dog's body was.
Her body was wrapped around this pole, and her whole chest was cut open by the barbed wire. So her head was this way, pointing towards the road. No. And then the back of her body was...
Well, I don't know. I know that's what you're telling.
Bananas.
That's where you were staying?
Yes.
And is what you're saying his car came through there?
Well, because she's
not a well. Is what you're saying
yes.
that the car came through that fence? So now I would like to see a picture of the downed fence. The downed fence.
The fence wasn't down.
Well, the fence had to be downed if he crashed through the fence.
Well,
his car didn't fit in between the slats. Right. So the fence had to be down. That's what you wrote here, that he came through. Right. He came through the fence. So if you're telling me that the fence didn't come down, that means that the car didn't go through the slats of that fence, because you would have taken a picture of the down fence.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Can you show me a picture when you finally got out, Mr. Rodriguez, because now she's playing with me. When you finally got out of your car, you went back to where the dog was?
I did, yes.
And where was the dog?
So the defendant's family came running to me after the...
No. Where was the dog?
The dog was with the defendant.
With the defendant?
Yes.
So when you hit the dog didn't die immediately? Okay. So when you say the dog was with the defendant, where was the defendant and the dog?
Defendant was with the dog after the incident.
Where physically?
Oh, where?
In a yard, in a street?
Oh, it was right at the side of the road. I saw the fence right there, but I did not hit any fence or nothing. I didn't...
No, a fence didn't go down. That was a lot of baloney. And your car didn't go through the fence because it would have to be a very, very, very thin car. And it was not a very thin car. So she was sitting at the fence on the other side, on the street side of the fence with the dog?
Yeah, she was, I think she was sitting with her dog after the incident happened. And she was, she seemed really sad.
Upset?
Upset, yeah.
Well, understandably.
I understand, yeah.
Okay, now, can I see, please, estimates for the damage to your car?
Yes, I have the receipts right here, actually. I believe there's 2 pages.
And you had the car?
Yeah, we had the car fixed already.
How much was it to fix the car?
The grand total was...
This is 2011 Acura?
Yeah.
The grand total was $4,600?
Yes.
You have insurance?
Yes, now I do, yes.
Did you have then?
So,
So the answer is either yes, I had collision nor liability?
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
In what month and year did your insurance lapse?
On July.
What were you doing driving it without insurance?
The insurance...
Don't give me baloney that you didn't get notified. I don't believe it.
And later today...
Believe it or not, even with these relatively short legs, my father thought I could be a ballerina at one point in my life. When I stopped growing, he was quickly disabused of that notion.
Closed captioning is provided by Kevin Rodriguez says Lacey Migliori is responsible for damage to his car after he struck and killed her unleashed dog.
Okay, how long have you had this 2011 Acura?
I want to say more than 8 years, 7, 8 years.
And in what month and year did your insurance lapse?
On July.
What were you doing driving it without insurance?
The insurance...
Don't give me baloney that you didn't get notified. I don't believe it.
Well, to be honest, I didn't really know. I had to...
Oh, it's your car. Is the car in your name?
The car is under my
car in
aunt's
your name?
Under my aunt's name. Yeah.
Gets better all the time. Okay, your case is dismissed, Mr. Rodriguez. You don't come to court and ask for a court's help when you don't have clean hands. Clean hands. Otherwise, she would have paid for the damage to your car because it was her responsibility, actually, to take care of her dog and make sure that her dog didn't cause any injury. That was her responsibility. But it is the height of what we say in French, chutzpah, to come to court and ask a court to help you when you've been doing the wrong thing for at least 2 months, driving a car without insurance. If you hit somebody and kill them, they would have nobody to sue. You would say, it's not even my car, it's my aunt's car. Goodbye, Mr. Rodriguez. Get insurance. Goodbye, thank you very much. You're very lucky, Ms. Migliori.
This case is concluded.
Thank
Parties
you.
are excused.
Dog out of nowhere. Swerve. Scared out of my mind.
I feel like he swerved into my dog because he wasn't paying attention.
I will pay more attention.
I was over her body crying, and the first thing he says to me was, "You're gonna pay me, right?"
I now have insurance, so...
If I ever get another dog, and make sure that she's on a leash.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the...
Dance teacher Amber Ely is suing the mother of a former student, Jennifer Ladd, for unpaid tuition and recital fees.
Miss Ely, you have a dancing school. Miss Ladd's daughter was a student of yours, and it is your claim that Miss Ladd owes you for several months of schooling that you gave to her daughter, and also for some costumes in a recital that they did. Miss Ladd says, I don't know what she says. I'm not exactly sure. When did your daughter enroll in Miss Eli's school?
3 years ago.
And what is the cost per month or per year?
It varies. It's $60 a month.
Okay, is that what you were paying 3 years ago?
Yes.
When did your daughter leave the school?
June 29th.
And she goes once a week?
Yes.
I know a little bit about dancing school and recitals and stuff, even from my own growing up days, because believe it or not, even with these relatively short legs, my father thought I could be a ballerina at one point in my life. When I stopped growing, he was quickly disabused of that notion. Not before I spent many, many years at Miss Nottage's dancing school, so I'm aware of the way dancing schools work.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
All she had to do...
She tried to. She gave her the debit card.
Sit. She knows how to speak English as her primary language.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Dance teacher Amber Ely says the mother of a former student, Jennifer Ladd, owes for unpaid tuition and recital fees.
Now, I know a little bit about dancing school and recitals. You sort of work all year, and at some point the kids put on a recital and they get nice costumes and everybody comes and takes pictures. Now they take them with iPhones. They used to take them with huge cameras. You have to sit through what is boring for most people, except when their child is on stage or their grandchild is on stage, being a tomato or a fairy or a moon or a sun or whatever it is. I also know that you pay additionally for those costumes and sometimes for the tickets or whatever. It's a way of the school making additional money. Was your daughter in a recital in the first year that she was there?
Yes, she was.
And did you buy a costume?
Yes.
And was she in a recital the second year you were there?
No.
Was she in a recital the third year she was there?
Yes.
Did you buy her costume?
Yes.
Did you pay for it?
No.
It's going to be much easier the third year, because that's part of her lawsuit. And your daughter did use the costume. Do you know how much she charged for the costume?
The total bill that month was $400.
How much was the costume?
The costumes were $210. She wore 3 of them.
Okay, so that's $210, and they were not paid for.
No.
Got it. She says they were not paid for. And what month's tuition of $60 do you claim she did not pay?
It's actually $65 a month. And she owes a registration fee. She paid the registration fee. She came in November.
Just to answer my question, please.
April,
what
May,
months?
June. April, May, and June.
Was she in class April, May, and June?
Yes.
When was the recital?
June 29th.
And she participated in that?
Absolutely.
Why didn't you pay April, May, and June off for the costumes?
I gave her my debit card, and she said I was all set when I was in the dance studio when I paid my bill. 2 months later, she called me back and said my credit card machine wasn't working. And I said, so...
Now, Miss Ladd,
sorry.
Before you get yourself really in a pickle,
right?
Did you pay her?
Yes.
Pay her?
Yes.
For April, May, a debit card where either $60 or $65 was taken out, April, May, and June, and then we resolve it. Then you only owe her the $210 for the costume. Just show me your debit card.
Well...
Not a well. That's a very easy thing to show.
I paid cash.
No, you said you gave her your debit card.
That was for the big bill that she told me I owed.
So the answer is you don't have proof that you paid her for April, May, and June. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Great.
I have a receipt
Fine.
here for...
Do you have a receipt for April, May, and June?
No, sorry, this was for July.
Can I say something?
Who are you?
I'm her friend. I've taken her daughter back and forth to the dance and...
Listen to me, stand up. This is why you can't say anything.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by Real Cases, Real People. Judge Judy. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Listen to me. She's already admitted that she didn't pay for the costumes. She knows she's supposed to pay for the costumes. She's paid for the costumes before, and her daughter used the costumes. That's $210. Plaintiff says she, despite the fact that she didn't pay for April, May, and June. Very easy. You don't know what she signed in her answer. I have it right here.
Well, I mean,
listen to me carefully. All she had to do is bring the debit card, register, that indicates April, May, and June paid. Either $60 or $65 a month.
Well, she tried to. She gave her the debit card.
Sit. She knows how to speak English as her primary language. You owe her $405.
Yes.
That's $210 for the costume.
Yes.
And the balance is for April, May, and June.
Yes.
Your daughter no longer goes to the school?
No.
Good. Thanks. Bye.
Excuse me, step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
This is a lecture, and I don't want you to interrupt me.
I get mad because...
What part of don't interrupt me don't you understand? You are not going to overtalk me, ever.
Judge Judy.
I thought it was very fair. There's a lot of other things that she does owe me for, which is I'm just going to kind of wash it as of now.
A lot of miscommunication in the dance studio for the 3 years. Not with just me, with a lot of other moms as well.
I have parents that business owner.
She lost all of her clients. She lost all of her students.
I didn't lose any students.
She wasn't learning anything.
I did enjoy Bella as a student, but she wasn't consistent. She wasn't in every week like the other children.
When you go and you have your child in a dance class, you expect them to learn something. After 3 years, nothing was taught.
I did hire a teacher to teach her daughter in the back of the room so she would be ready for the recital after missing a few months. I usually don't do that. So she should be thanking me instead of upset that she owes me money.
She'll dance somewhere else.
A contractor cleared his calendar.
He was ready, willing, and able to do his job.
But a homeowner...
When did you get back to him?
...wasn't on the same page.
I told him at this point I wanted to cancel.
You canceled the night before.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Stetler.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your responses to me are flaky.
No, I don't understand.
Flaky.
This is Judge Judy. Matthew Stetler is suing home alarm installer Travis Bailey for failing to install a surveillance system in his home.
This is case number 189 on the calendar in a matter of Mr.
Stetler, you purchased some surveillance equipment for your home. What kind of surveillance equipment did you purchase?
Surveillance cameras.
How many did you purchase?
I purchased a total of 8, Your Honor.
How much did you pay for the 8 security cameras?
Paid $1,700 for the system.
So it's one system?
Yeah, it's a system that has, with a hard drive with cameras and everything that needs to be installed.
And that's where Mr. Bailey comes in, because you needed someone to install the system. On what date did you purchase the system?
I'm not quite sure of the exact date. It was somewhere in December. I purchased the system. They sat at my house for quite some time before I had them installed, or looked at getting them installed.
Okay, no, so you purchased them in 2019.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So you purchased them in December of 2019, and they did nothing. Sometime in June of 2020, some 6 months later, you contacted the defendant to install them.
That's correct.
And you told him that you would need $900 up front, and the total job was going to be what, to install the system?
Yes, so we'd be wrapping hundreds of feet of wire around his home, and we did collect that deposit.
Listen,
I'm sorry, what was your question, Your Honor?
I want you for a moment to think like a woman. Your listening ears. I asked you a simple question, and the question was, what was the total cost of the job? That's a number.
Just above $1,800. I believe it was $1,815.
And on that date, on the 20th of June, he gave you a $900 deposit.
Correct.
And you told him that it would be about half a day's work to
I don't
install.
believe it'd be half a day. I don't recall that exact statement.
Well, how long do you think it would have taken you had you done the job?
It would have probably been a full day.
1 day. Well, one man's full day is another man's half day. It depends upon how fast and how diligently you work.
Correct.
And he had the materials except for one piece. And the one piece that you said he needed was a router. Now, I don't want you to explain to me what that is. At my age, I only want no information that involves getting me from one meal to the next. So I don't want to know what a router does. But with reference to this case, you bought the router,
Correct.
according to you.
Yes.
For his system.
Correct.
And how much did you spend that you have a receipt for the router?
It's after tax just over $150.
Did you buy it?
Yes.
Where is it?
It's probably still sitting in the office. I don't use equipment that's for jobs that didn't go in on that job, unless the client disclosed.
Your defense that you bought an item, you started working on it, you researched it, and you bought an item. So why didn't you bring it? Where do you come from? You come from across the country?
No, Modesto. Things have been very hectic for our company during COVID.
But you drove here.
Correct.
Why don't you just put it in the car? Is it very big, this router? Is it bigger than a bread box? Is it bigger than a coffin?
No,
what is
it's
it?
Roughly this.
How big is it? Show me with your hands.
Roughly this big.
And who else drove in the car with you?
I had a friend join me.
Great. Is your car a two-door car or a four-door car?
Four-door.
Good, so you had plenty of room in the back seat to put the router, if you want credit for the router. Anyway, you didn't get back to him for a while to let him know what date you could do this job. How come? The last thing you said to him was, give me the $900 and I'm going to look in my book and get back to you and let you know what date I can come and do it.
That is incorrect, Your Honor.
That was, well, tell me what you said. You took the $900 and what date did you tell him that you were going to start work?
So when we collected the deposit, the plaintiff gave me an option for 2 days he wanted to select for the install, and he would let me know which day. So I reserved 2 days on my calendar for him.
Which 2 days did he tell you?
I remember it was a Tuesday or a Thursday. I have it in my notes here if you may allow me to open them.
Absolutely.
So can I read a text message here, Your Honor?
Absolutely, and then I want to look at it.
Okay. So I'm going to read just a couple exchanges we had. I apologize for poor communication because things have been so hectic during the pandemic. My company's looking to hire more installers.
Okay, hold on a second. No, bop.
Okay.
Put the text message up there. I'll look at it myself. And the date.
So the date isn't in the screenshot.
Oh, well, it has to be.
I can pull out my phone and check if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so in this exchange, you're apologizing to him for something.
It was just a delay in reply
And I
to
need
text
the
messages.
No, it's been so hectic here. Started moving through the pandemic. The company is looking to hire more installers right now. More people are calling in than usual.
I was just sharing unnecessary information, I
just
suppose.
need to know what date.
This was on June 20th. So this is my phone
June
here.
20th. I thought that June 20th was the date that you first saw him and collected the $900.
I may be incorrect on my dates, Your Honor. I apologize. I do remember we met on Father's Day. Not exactly sure what date that was.
Okay.
I took some time for him for that.
He came to the house on what date?
He came to my house on Sunday, the 20th.
And you gave him $900 in a check.
Yes, Your Honor.
When was he supposed to start this job?
I wanted him to come out on that following Tuesday, and he told me he had to check with his installers to make sure that he was available to come out on that following Tuesday, and he would get back to me. And I have that on a text message as well.
I'd like to see it.
So this on June 20th, or I'm sorry, June 21st is when I show him that I spoke with my wife and wanted to have him come out on Tuesday. I'm sorry.
I talked to my wife. If Tuesday would work, would be fine, just let me know. I'm also not going to worry about installing a camera inside the garage. 5 cameras, we could address the balance when you finish. Yes or no problem. I'll knock it off the last half of the remaining balance. I haven't heard back from my guys yet. I'll let you know ASAP. So that was June 21st.
On Sunday, correct. And he was responding back to me, letting me know that he still hadn't heard back from his guys.
Yes, I read that. Well, when did he finally respond that he could install? What was the next exchange?
My next exchange from him was on June 30th, Your Honor.
Mr. Bailey, do you have any record that you let him know that you were either available or unavailable that Tuesday? I want you to look and see. Either I will be there or I won't be there on Tuesday. checked with his wife. His wife said Tuesday is fine. You said, I haven't heard from my installers. I'll get back to you ASAP. I want to know when the ASAP was, because this case is about he wants the return of his deposit.
So it looks like I got back to him at 8:42 p.m. June 22nd, and I have text messages of that.
So the next one you say was at 8:42 p.m. on Tuesday, when you said what to him, sir? What did you say to him at 8:42?
I said, hey, sorry I had this typed up, but I didn't send. Sorry for the delay. That is no problem at all. That's perfect. We'll see you next Tuesday.
No. Following Tuesday, as we originally saw, showing up early in the morning between 7 and 8. I'll put it on my schedule. Can I see what's right before that? Hey, this is Matt Stetler. I had to order the wall mount and monitor. It won't show up until next Thursday, so let's go ahead and schedule the install for the following Tuesday, as we originally discussed, showing up early in the morning between 7 and 8. I'll put it on my schedule. And you say that's no problem. Okay, so the following would be the 27th or the 28th. That's when you wanted him to schedule.
That's
okay,
correct.
because you didn't have the right mounting.
That's correct.
And then what happened?
We didn't speak until I talked to him on the
following Tuesday.
The following
Is that right?
That's correct.
Following Tuesday, which would have been the 29th.
The 29th, Your Honor, that's correct.
Yes, and what happened on the 29th?
So I got in touch with him that Monday, informing him that my wife was sick, or had got sick over the weekend, and Sunday she had to go in for surgery, and I was going to cancel the install for Tuesday, and that I would get back to him at a later date.
So you canceled
Yes,
the night before.
that's correct.
You canceled the night before.
That's correct.
Because your wife had an emergency.
That's correct.
When did you get back to him?
He got back to me on Tuesday, said that he got my text, that he was on a different job, and he would call me later. I had got wrapped up with business and other things. I hadn't heard back from him, and so I reached out to him on July 10th.
Well, why didn't you call him, Mr. Stetler, and without waiting for him? Your wife had an emergency. You canceled with him the night before the job.
That's correct.
You canceled with him the night before the job, saying your wife had an emergency.
That's correct.
And I'll get back to you. And when was the next time you contacted him?
No, I didn't say that I'd get back to him. I told him at this point I wanted to cancel, and it would probably take a few weeks to a month before I rescheduled the camera install.
Yeah.
And I put that in a text message. He had... Yes,
Mr. Stetler.
Yes, Your Honor.
You don't get your money back. Your responses to me are flaky.
No, I don't understand.
Flaky.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
Did she give you $80 in cash?
Yes.
When you came out of the facility?
Yes.
Did you ever give her any money?
No, but I've done a lot of things for her.
I don't care. My question was, did you ever give her any money?
Matthew Stetler says home alarm installer Travis Bailey owes for the return of a deposit to install a home surveillance system.
I usually give deposits back when somebody clearly isn't ready to do their job.
Okay.
He was ready, willing, and able to do this job. You canceled. You canceled the night before, and then you wanted to cancel the whole job. After you had scheduled with him, you knew he spent time, you knew he bought a router, you don't get your money back. You don't set the value for somebody else's time, sir.
That's
I
right.
assume, did you have somebody else install the system?
No, I didn't, Your Honor.
Yeah, he doesn't owe you any money. Your case is dismissed. Thank you very much. We're finished.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
It's still open. I mean, he's one of the best guys in town, so I'm not saying that...
Well, I'm more than happy to do the job.
For discussion, so...
I'd like to make him secure. That's what we do.
I'm glad it's settled.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Walton versus Asbury step forward.
Catherine Walton is suing her former friend, Christina Asbury, for rent, a smashed windshield, and a loan to pay her cell phone bill.
Ms. Walton, you and the defendant knew each other for some time, and am I correct that each of you at some point had a drug problem?
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes.
You were in a program, according to what I read in your complaint. The defendant was just coming out of a program. She needed a place to stay. She contacted you, and you indicated that she could, in fact, stay with you for a while until she got on her feet. According to you, the arrangement was as follows. She could stay with you without rent at first. When she got a job, got on her feet, she would start paying you $400 a month.
Right.
And you also, according to you, loaned her $300 to sort of get her on her feet to get some clothes and some other stuff. And she got a job relatively quickly. You were released from the facility when?
In April.
And you stayed with Miss Walton month of April?
For the remainder of April, yes.
And May?
Yes.
And in June?
Yes.
And in July?
Yes.
When did you leave? Ago?
Ago.
So that would be sometime in August.
Yes.
How much rent did you pay her?
I gave her a couple $100 out of a couple of my checks, but I was trying to save money for my own
Couple
place.
of $100 out of a couple of your checks. A couple is two.
Oh, there was maybe like 3 or 4 that I remember.
How much money did she give you while she was staying with you?
$600 total.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I came home and I immediately saw that my windshield was smashed. And
how did that happen?
I found out who it was, why he broke out her window. I have no clue. I wasn't there.
Name? Name?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Catherine Walton says former friend Christina Asbury owes for rent, a smashed windshield, and a loan.
Now, what was the $300 that you, according to you, loaned her for?
When she moved in, or when she got her job.
When did you get your job?
About 3 weeks after I got out of the program.
Where were you working?
I was working at a natural food store.
Are you still working there?
No.
Where are you working now?
I'm working at Gap stores.
How long have you worked there?
About 2 months.
Who is this?
This is my boyfriend.
What does he do? Is not an answer.
He doesn't have a job right now.
What does he do? All day?
I don't know. I'm at work.
So he stays home and you work?
Mm-hmm.
How long has he been your boyfriend?
Off and on for a year now.
Did you meet him in the facility?
No.
Where did you meet him?
I met him at my friend's house.
Has he had a job during the year?
Yeah.
Doing what?
He was doing I don't know what it's called, like tree trimming and tree.
Now, what was the $300 for?
I bought her cell phone bill, and for clothes for her new job. She had to wear a certain type of outfit.
Did you give her the $300 in cash?
No, I gave her $80 in cash, and the cell phone and the cell phone bill I put on my credit card.
Did she purchase a cell phone for you?
Yeah, she didn't say that I had to pay her back, though.
Just question is, did she purchase a cell phone for you?
Yes.
Did she pay your cell phone bill?
Yes.
Did she give you $80 in cash?
Yes.
When you came out of the facility?
Yes.
What about clothes?
I didn't have any when I moved with her.
Did she help you get some?
Yes.
Where did you first meet?
My ex-husband. We met about 10 years ago. Her ex and my ex were friends, and we've just continued to be friends even though those relationships are done and gone.
Did you ever give her any money?
No, but I've done a lot of things for her.
I don't care. My question was, did you ever give her any money?
No.
And who do you work for, Miss Walton?
I work at a gas station.
Do you live alone?
I have a daughter who's 5.
Anything else you want to tell me?
She also owes me for a windshield that got broken. My car windshield that got broken.
Well, explain that to me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Well, explain that to me.
On July 4th, I came home and I immediately saw that my windshield was smashed out. I have a picture of it if you want to see. And
how did that happen?
I wasn't there. I found out who it was, and I told her who it was.
Who was it?
It was this person that I had bought a computer from. He had gotten mad because I wasn't picking up my phone, and I don't know why he went.
Did you owe him money for the computer?
Yes, I did. Why he broke out her window, I have no clue. I wasn't there. I wasn't part of it.
Your Honor, she would drive my car. The car was maybe hers.
She's not responsible for the windshield.
She signed for the bill to pick it up.
I don't care. She just gave you the name of the person who broke your windshield.
She did. I didn't hear a name.
Oh, name? Name?
Mike. I don't know who that is.
She'll tell you who it is. Go file a police report.
If I hadn't have met
Listen
her
to me.
or
Listen
let her
to
drive
me.
my car, it would have never been broken.
If my mother were taller, I would have been 5'8".
She agreed that she would.
I'm telling you, she's not responsible for your windshield.
She agreed that she would pay.
Do you
pay it.
understand? She's not responsible for your windshield. I don't care what she agreed to. That's why you're here. She's not responsible for your windshield. Go and file a police report against
I did file
him
a police
and
report.
sue. Well, did you put down the name of the person?
I did, and they didn't seem to care.
Well, then she knows where they are. She bought a computer from them. Sue them.
I think she should give me the computer for it.
Listen to me. She's not responsible for the criminal act of another person.
Not criminally, but
it's
civilly.
a criminal act of another person. I'm trying to explain something to you. Did you go to law school?
No.
She's not responsible for the criminal act of another person. Vandalism is a criminal act. She's not responsible for it. She was responsible for the $300 that she borrowed from you in order to get on her feet.
Even with the babysitting, I've done...
Listen to me. You paid $600 over 4 months that you lived in her house. You can't board a gerbil for that amount of money for 4 months. You're bigger than a gerbil. So if you babysat, cleaned the bathroom, did the refrigerator, scrubbed out the stove, good for you. You were living practically for nothing.
Her daughter lived there as well, and I watched her daughter too.
So I look as if I need your help. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $300. That's all. Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It's strained it, but I hope now, I mean, I can look past it, and now that I'm going to get paid back, you know, I hope we're not enemies forever.